Hello, Jason Fladlin here on behalf of Rapid Crush Inc., the publishing company behind this wonderful concept called The Plan of Mr. Dan Hollings. We welcome you to this webinar here today, where you're going to get kind of an inside scoop on what we feel is the best of the best. We think crypto is the most revolutionary concept, and we think that what Dan has came up with is the best. And we have some very compelling proof, which we're going to share with you to help you kind of maybe win you over to our viewpoint of what's the best. But why would I talk about it when we can just kind of show you? So that's predominantly what we're going to do here today. We're going to show you a new strategy that nobody else is really doing. And it has some intricacies that are easy to pick up, but are unobvious to a majority of people. And we think will remain unobvious forever. And so I think a little bit of knowledge here goes a long ways. Crypto's undeniable. You're going to have a seat at the table, whether you like it or not. So you might as well have the best seat possible. And that's what Mr. Dan Hollings has for you here today. With that said, Dan Hollings, take it away, my friend.
Oh, there we go. Okay, I am unmuted and I am here. I hope to spend a little bit of time sharing with you something that I'm not only excited about, this is something that I thought was just going to be my retirement. I kind of hid myself away and figured out some things that really worked. And I'm going to share with you today what I've come up with. What I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of roll back the clock a little bit and show you where my journey started, kind of show you the highs and the lows and some roadblocks I hit along the way. But ultimately, a quick overview of how we all got here today. I couldn't be more excited because of the fact that since this has been put forth, a lot of my friends, loved ones, connections have all come on board the plan. In addition, we've shared it with people such as yourself, and the results have been phenomenal. Jason mentioned it earlier, and we will get to this soon enough. I'm going to actually show you the live status of every single person that started with me in the very early phases in what we call our beta 1 group. I'm going to show you every single one of them, the good, the bad, the ugly, the amazing. You're going to see it all live, stats coming in directly from their accounts with their permission, so that you can believe what you're going to hear. Because I will assure you that what you are about to hear is unbelievable. Every red flag you could think of is going to go off in your head, and you're going to think, this can't be true. My grandmother's always told me, if it sounds too good to be true, it can't be. You're going to have that experience, and I understand it, because we're talking about crypto. Everybody says it's dangerous, it's volatile. You read the news, they're talking about crashes, and it just goes on and on and on. But this is crypto being done in a different way, a safe way, a way that I've been doing it for 3 years. I'm going to show you my results every single month. In fact, I'll go back for a whole year and show you month by month as we get into this. So what I ask is that cut off all your distractions, grab a chair, a cup of coffee, what have you, and sit back and just for a moment, just absorb this. It will be recorded. And if all turns out well there, you'll be able to hear it again. And if you wish to share it with a loved one or a partner, we encourage you to do that as well, because if possible, I'd like you to join me on this journey. Okay, I'm really trying to help people here. And I've come upon something that I was just going to keep to myself. But because my friends kept encouraging me, I decided to share it with the world. And we are now in, 90, 100 different countries as the plan expands all around the world. Let me share my screen here. And we're going to start with me going through a number of slides and showing you kind of the genesis of this and what I'm doing. And then we're going to go to some live actual accounts so you can see the money rolling in. So yes, this is the plan. And while I will concentrate on one part of the plan today, the plan is very robust. The plan is very diverse. Don't think that everything I'm showing you today is the entire plan. I don't have enough time to show all of it to you, but I'm going to go straight to the core and show you how I'm making money minute by minute by minute, as are all of the people who are with me now in the plan. What if I showed you something that not only was crazy good, but was beyond amazing? Like, for example, something like this. This is a return that is too good to be true, right? 246.95%. That is starting with an investment of $3,500 in a period of only 2 months in 5 days. And where are we today? Or I should say, where am I today? This is worth $17,051. I'm not kidding you. And this is still live. You're going to see it on my live account in just a few moments. Yeah, this is a screenshot here. I could have photoshopped that, but you're going to see it again live in just a moment in my web browser. And in fact, it will probably be a little higher, a little better, because I took this screenshot, I think, a day or two ago. This is what's possible when you're doing the plan, because it does not in any way work like any other crypto plan out there. I've cracked the code. I figured this out, and I'm sharing it with you today. I already have $8,551 in my pocket as a result of this automation. And I call it an automation because I'm not trading. I'm not watching candlesticks and charts on the screen all day. I'm living life. When it comes to crypto, I'm doing nothing. But yet in my pocket, I already have 8,551. And if I stopped the automation right now, I would have $17,051, because there are two ways that we make money with this. One is through micro trading that is automated, and the other is through the appreciation of the coins and the tokens that we invest in. 100% automated and 100% amazing. And this thing's still running. You tell me where you can go and actually have a trade occur where you get money all along the way. In this example, $8,551, and yet the thing is still going. It's still making money for me as I speak right now. This is live. And what am I doing? I'm talking to you, right? But when it comes to trading, I'm doing nothing. And that's what I do day in and day out. And I want to teach you how to do nothing, because again, I told you red flags are going to go off. This is a way to make money doing absolutely nothing. Yeah, you got to know how to do it. You got to know how to set it up. It takes a few minutes for that. But once you're going to do absolutely nothing. And it's hard. It's really, really hard. Would you think that I'm a liar? Would you think I'm a nutcase if I showed you something like this? Or if you're smart, would you think you better pull up a chair and listen to what I have to say? I want you to do that. Either sit back and relax or get on the edge of your chair, whatever you prefer. But we're going to blow away a lot of misconceptions about crypto and also open a door for an opportunity that you can do exactly what I'm doing. Now, I've got to tell you up front, I'm not an advisor, financial advisor, not an attorney. I'm not a tax expert, none of that. I want you to also know that this is crypto, and like all trading, all investment, you can lose money doing this. I have lost money doing this, but I've made more than I've lost. But you could lose all of your money, and that's just a fact. But what we try to do in the plan is share with you what I've been doing and what I've been teaching others in order to not lose money. And if all goes well, that's what can happen with you. But you have to know up front that if you decide to join me, you only risk money that you can afford to lose. And everything I tell you is not because I'm trying to give you advice. I'm trying to educate you, entertain you a little bit, and help you to become more knowledgeable about our future. We're all going to live in a blockchain world. We're all moving fast toward crypto. And you're going to be there whether you want to or not. And my question today is, would you like to start now? Would you like to learn how to do it safely and profitably now? And if so, that's what this is all about. We started sharing this a few months ago, It's been going so fast, I can't even quite remember if it's been 3 months or 4 months, but not all that long. So you guys are early to hear about this, but yet it has spread tremendously. I think we're in over 90 countries now. I don't even know how many countries there are in the world, but here are many of the countries that we are already in. Why would something spread this fast if it were not working? We don't get many complaints, but we do get a lot of compliments. We do get a lot of really, heartfelt stories about how we are changing lives, how I'm helping people to turn their lives around through the plan. That's what I like about this more than anything else. I've already made my money. So the fun part for me is helping other people, and that's what we're doing. But let me tell you how it all got started. It wasn't with this dog. This is Jason's dog, and you can tell he's really into the plan. But let me tell you how it started. A good friend of mine, Tony, that you see here with his wife, Priya, he reached out to me a few years ago, back in early 2017, I think it was, and said, Dan, boy, you got to get into this crypto. Bitcoin's going crazy. It's really something. And I was not interested at all. I think at the time, crypto was trading for around 6, 7, 8,000. I forget exactly. And I thought, wow, gosh, that's expensive. And I just kept putting him off and anything I could think of in order to avoid talking to Tony. That's what I did for several weeks. But I was also running a business with him at the time, and he just kept hounding me. So finally, I bought a little bit of crypto, a little bit of Bitcoin, just to shut him up. And every day I would look at it, and it was worth more, and it was worth more. And I started thinking, wow, I've never seen anything like this. And I started doing some trading, and I started studying this, and I just began to believe that I was a wizard at this. And boy, was I wrong, because what I had done is what so many people have done, and what I hope you don't do, is I just bought into what's called FOMO, fear of missing out. I started seeing something going up. I thought I was going to miss out. I started buying Bitcoin, and it was just going up like crazy. Back in 2017, there was this incredible bull run that went up to $20,000, and we thought that was just amazing. I mean, we're already up over 40,000 now, but back then that was really something. But I didn't know how to trade. I didn't know what I was doing. I was just lucky. And I made a lot of money, and as quick as I made it, it gradually reached a peak, and the whole market started moving down, and I lost a great deal of money. So I've been there, I've done that, I've got the t-shirt, and I learned that you can't do crypto without a plan. I told everybody that I was getting out, but in reality, I just felt that I could crack the code here. All of my life, I have taught people how to make money online. And I thought, wow, this would be great, because if I could figure out how to do this, this would be an easier way to make money online as compared to other things that I had tried and taught. And so I figured I'd just keep going at it, but I was a little embarrassed because I had failed miserably in my first attempt. So I kind of locked myself in the closet and had my computer monitor, and I tried this and I tried that, and I watched all the crazy YouTube videos, and I chased moonshots, and I tried indicators, and I happened to be a programmer and a developer. I programmed indicators. I did all kinds of stuff. And the more I did, the more it didn't work, until finally one day I stumbled into something, and that something was the beginning of the plan. And as I saw it start to work, I started molding it. I started making it better and better. And I started thinking, wow, this is working all of a sudden. And I decided I wasn't going to show it to anybody. Why would I? I mean, look, I got a few gray hairs, and I figured I could just do this and have a good life, because here was the magic about what I had discovered. I do a little setup, and there was nothing to do. I would go for days and weeks and months and wouldn't do anything. And then when I would check back, I had profit. And it wasn't like I had to time something to, close out and grab my money. The money was coming in minute after minute after minute after minute. It never stopped. And I would just check in every once in a while, and wow. Back in an earlier life, I used to own a vending route, a bunch of bubblegum machines. And I always thought it was great because I could make money while I sleep, right? Because people would be putting in their quarters to get a piece of bubble gum all day, all night, as long as I had it at a good location. And I did that for a while, and that was really great, but it's a lot of work, having to go out and, clean the machines, put in more bubble gum, take the quarters out, haul them into the bank, and having to roll them and all of that kind of stuff. This was similar to that without the work, because I was making money. It was also like 25 cents at a time, 50 cents at a time, $1 at a time, minute after minute after minute. And there was no limit on what I could do. So I was set. Had my rocking chair, and I was going to sit back with my dogs and just enjoy life, right? Then all of a sudden, Elaine, who I had worked with for many, many years, she called me. She said, Dan, I'm getting into Bitcoin. I said, oh, no, Elaine, you can't do that. She said, why not? I mean, look, I can invest in this and it might go up and all this. And I said, yeah, but you can also lose your money too. And she says, oh, I don't know. I'm just going to do it. I said, well, I tell you what, why don't you hop on a Zoom call with me and I'll show you what I'm doing, because I don't want you to lose money. And most likely, as is the case with 95% of the people that try to do crypto, they lose their shirt. And so I told Elaine, hop on a Zoom call. I'll show you what I'm doing. I just really couldn't see her, trying to do this without me giving her some hints, some tips. So I showed her what I was doing. She started doing it, and it was working as good for her as it was for me. And she says, hey, I got a friend. His name is Daniel. I knew Daniel kind of, and we got on a call and I showed him what I was doing. And it worked for him. And by the way, Elaine's on the call today. Daniel's on the call today. Tony normally would be, but he's working with a client today, one of our plan members. He may log on in a little bit. And then I had to tell my chief of operations, Ian, because everything I do, he helps me to manage it and run it. He didn't know I was doing crypto in the closet, but I needed to tell him because he was working with Elaine and Daniel and other people, and I knew he'd find out. So I told him, and he said, wow, that's interesting. He started doing it, and it worked for him. And everyone just kept telling me, Dan, you got to share this with the world. You can't keep it to yourself. It can't just be us making the money. And so we shared it with Jason and Will. You heard Jason earlier. He's now helping in a big way in getting this out to the world. And his partner, Will. They weren't really that interested in crypto, but I showed them what I was doing, and they were certainly interested in making money. And they're busy guys. They like the fact that they could continue doing all the stuff that keeps them busy, and this would make them money while they did nothing. I mean, that was the magic of this. Making money while you do nothing. I mean, who doesn't like that? And then I introduced it to my marketing guy who'd been with me for years, Mikey. Mikey did the same thing. It worked for him. He's making some money. And then I brought on my marketing lady, Ashley. All of these people are with me. They're all part of the plan. They're all making money. They're all doing exactly what I'm doing. And they're all here to help you now. In fact, they're on the call today, amazingly. Because it is life-changing what we've been doing, helping people make money while they do nothing so that they can live life or work their other business or do whatever it is that you want to do. That's the way this started. And the only person missing is you. That's it. So I'm going to show you what I'm doing. I'm going to show you how it's working for others in great detail. And I'm going to show you how you can get involved, because we're making money off of what's called wiggle. I know that looks crazy, but we're making wiggle profits because yes, crypto is volatile and it goes up and it goes down, but on a minute by minute basis, it wiggles. And that's where I cracked the code. I stopped chasing the ups. I stopped chasing the downs. I stopped worrying about all of that. I don't care. I make my money at the micro level where crypto wiggles all day long, 24/7. And I'm making vending machine like money doing the plan. There was a quote by Malcolm Forbes, the guy who publishes the magazine. that I remember reading way back. And honestly, I thought I didn't even understand it really. And not till today do I get it. But he said the hardest work of all was doing nothing. Now, I don't think he was doing crypto, but whatever he was doing, he had discovered what I have discovered, that it's really hard to do nothing. You want to fiddle with it. You want to tweak it. You want to feel like you're earning your money. Jason often talks about how he sometimes feels guilty about the money that he makes from the plan because he's not working up a sweat. He's not, doing hard work. I want you to remember this because this will be the hardest thing that you do. Some of you are thinking, wow, I could do nothing all day. No problem, Dan, I'm in, right? But you're going to find it's a little hard. And I want you to remember this because indeed you're going to do nothing. In fact, I have a little journal. In fact, you think that's just a picture. I actually have one right here. See it? Okay. This is my to-do list. Nothing, nothing, nothing. That's the plan. Let me show you, so you don't think I'm just blowing smoke, my results. Now, I'm going to show you screenshots right now, but in a moment, you'll see my live account. So everything you're seeing here, for convenience, I'm just going to show you a bunch of screenshots. But in a minute, we're going to go to my live account because I want you to believe this stuff. But let's go back a year. Okay. Back in August of 2020, you can see that my automations, my bots, this system that was making money for me, and that month, it had a bot profit of $94,649. Not bad, right? The next month, September, this is a year ago. My bot profit then was 100,000, over 100,000. And then I'm going to show you a little video here so you can see how I got these results. You have to go into the system. You have to set the dates month after month. And here we have October. And you can see in October, I made $6,112. You can see why I did a little recording because it's a little cumbersome to do this calendar. But here we have November. I did $30,547. And again, I'm doing nothing. In fact, working this calendar is more work than doing the plan. Now here we are in December. It was a great December. This is last December, $70,970. Now we come into the new year. Coronavirus is starting to lurk, but yet I made $41,283 in January. And then the next month, I only had 28 days, but I made $161,017 for that month. Then we have March, 31 days. I make $20,958. Then for the next month, we have April. I make $24,444. I'm doing nothing. We come to May. Maybe you should be doing this. Now, there have been other months since I made this video, so let me show you those. This is May, okay? And in May, I made $49,106. The next month, June, I made $11,029. Then we have July. I made $34,693. And today. Now, this is August and September because it's only a partial month. So for about a month and a half, I've made bot profits of $54,205. Now, the software that I used was recently updated, and they added an additional profit summary that wasn't available in the previous software. We knew how much we were making, or I should say, I knew how much I was making, but there are two profits that are available for you. One is the money that the bot makes from doing the micro trading, that vending machine money that's coming in minute after minute after minute. But there is another way to make money, which everyone's familiar with, and that's when the assets, the coins, the Bitcoin or whatever you are trading, when that goes up in value. So when you look at it for August and September with this new information that's now available on all of the screens, you'll see it when we go live. You can see that my bot made $54,000 for this 45-day period, but yet the assets that I had increased, and my real profit was 116,000 if I were to have closed down all of the automations and just walked away with my money. Now, here's the thing, folks, and you got to remember this. These numbers that I have shown you are not theoretical. And it's not money like you hear people say, oh, I'm going to buy some Bitcoin and I'm going to hold it. Or the term they use is hodl, which means hold. They may say, oh, I bought some Bitcoin a year ago and now it's worth, 20% more. But guess what? That's only if they sold the Bitcoin. That's theoretical money, because until you actually cash out and take your money, it's not really real money. It's just theoretical, because it could drop and that 20% that they think they have today could be gone tomorrow. That's not what I'm showing you here, because these profits are paid out minute by minute in money that goes straight into your exchange, or what I call into my pocket, because once I have it in my exchange, it's my money. I can spend it, I can withdraw it, I can pay the rent, I can buy a car, or I can put it back into more investments. Whatever I want to do, it is spendable pocket money. So all of this money that I've shown you is money in my pocket, and yet many of these automations are still running. Is that not amazing, or what? How much was it? Were you adding it up? I hope you were. I just showed you $699,876 that I made doing nothing over the last year. But guess what? The plan doesn't stop with just this. I told you earlier, the plan is much more robust. I'm not going to show you every detail of it. I don't have enough time. But continuing my strategy of doing nothing, I take my profits, I peel them off, I pay myself first, and that money gets put away in what I call a vault. And this is it right here. This is a screenshot from yesterday. And I show you how to do it, because that money, that almost 700,000 that the automations made me, I hodl away the profits, and I earn incredible interest on that. And like I said, I've made millions. You're seeing a part of what I'm doing, and I'm going to show you everything I'm doing, because the plan is about a lot more than just bots. One thing I like is safety. I bet you do too, right? Because I lost money in the past because I didn't know what I was doing, and I wasn't playing the game smart or safe. But boy, do we stress that a lot. Also, diversity. You're seeing a pie chart here on the screen right now. 50% of my money is in strategies, such as what I just showed you. I hodl away another portion, which I also showed you. That's my portfolio balance there in the lower right. And then I keep a reserve to buy the dips, and just to make sure that I'm always safe. And I show you how to do this. The plan is about strategy. Oh, the strategies, they're incredible. But I've got another requirement about my strategies that most people don't have. That is that I don't like strategies that require I work. I don't like strategies that require I stay awake at night worrying. I like strategies that make money that goes into my pocket and requires I do nothing. That's what I like. And so those are the strategies that I teach. I also teach not only just regular old hodling, which is easy enough and it's smart, but I also teach you how to do hodling on steroids. Better than the average bear. But more so than anything, we are going into a blockchain future, and I'm here to be your tour guide to show you how to do this stuff so that you can be ready for what's inevitable. But those people that get there first are the ones that are going to do the best. And those are going to be the people that have a plan. You don't want to be this guy, the man with no plan. Because I know exactly what happens if you're that guy. You get nowhere. The dollar is losing value, but yet crypto and Bitcoin and Ether They are some of the few assets on this planet that have continued to go up over time. Now, I'm going to show you something here that really has nothing to do with the plan. But I know that some people that are on the call, crypto and Bitcoin and all this stuff is kind of new to you. And while in general, you probably think, wow, I think it's going to go up, you don't really know the logic behind it or the real world reasoning for why this is happening. And I want to go back and I want to show you the history, and I want to show it to you within the framework of a really brilliant guy that created the stock to flow prediction model. And the reason I say brilliant, he goes by the pseudonym Plan B. It's funny, but he's got the word plan in his name. But this guy started a stock to flow indicator back about a decade ago. And of all of the models that have been out there, it has been just remarkably accurate at predicting Bitcoin. Now, the crypto world is more than just Bitcoin. You know, Bitcoin's kind of the king of the pile. And then after that, the queen is Ether or ETH. And then there are thousands of other tokens and coins that are out there. But in general, as Bitcoin and as Ether increase in value over time, the whole market kind of follows along. And there's some really exciting subsets in the space that are just doing phenomenal, NFTs and DeFi and all of that. Over time, you'll see that I can help you in those areas as well. But we're talking about something else right now. We want to make money minute by minute, but we want to do it in an environment where we feel that in general, the market is going in the right direction, correct? So I want to look at this model. I want to explain it to you so that you can understand that not only is the plan able to help you make money, but you're doing it at a time, how lucky could you be, where odds are strong that Bitcoin is going to be worth quite a bit in the future. So let's look at this thing. This brown line that you see right here, that is the stock to flow model. And I know it looks like a little, grade school kid just drew it with a Crayola or something, but there's a lot of logic and math into this thing. And I want to talk about it. Back when Plan B first created this stock to flow model. Oh, I got to mention this model is also used for gold and platinum and silver and things like that as well. But with Bitcoin, wow, it's been super accurate. But back when Bitcoin first started back, I think in 2010, 2011, it was just pennies. And by the time we got to 2014, it had peaked at around $1,000. And you'll see here that there's an area in this prediction model, this brown line here, where it goes up. And then you'll notice that it goes up here again, and then it goes up here again, and then it goes up here again. And you may think that looks almost artificial. Why would it go up perfect and spaced out so evenly like that? I mean, it looks like somebody built a step here, Stairway to Heaven or something. Well, the reason is because Bitcoin has built into its code what's called a halving. And I'm not going to explain it, but what it does is every 4 years, Bitcoin automatically goes through a halving. And what happens is right after that halving occurs, Bitcoin seems to always have a bull market and just take off, parabolic run. Now, it doesn't happen overnight. It may happen over months, but that's what you're seeing here. So we have had a halving pretty recently, and I want you to see what happened in the past as this happened so that you can understand that, boy, did you guys time this right. I don't know how you did it, but you got on the right webinar on the right day at the right time. And that's just amazing to me. But here's what happened back in 2014. Now, Bitcoin just keeps on going. And as the years pass, you can see that the stock to flow model is right on target again. And once we hit here and we had the halving, you can see that Bitcoin just went straight on up, just like it did here. As soon as we had the halving starting here, went straight on up. Now, where are we today? By the way, right here in this blue circle, this is when I first got involved, right here. But now, this is where we're at. I sometimes joke that Bitcoin colluded with me. It knew that I was going to be rolling out the plan, so it decided to offer a discount. I mean, Bitcoin was up to $60,000 per Bitcoin just a few months ago, and now it's in a bit of a dip. We're in the 40s now. Special going on because you guys are starting and you're going to be able to get in at a discount because we already know from history, if this Plan B stock to flow model is correct, then this thing is going to shoot up above the brown line again, right? Just like it has every other time. This thing has been accurate for a decade. Why would it all of a sudden not be accurate when the underlying fundamentals of crypto and Bitcoin and ETH are even stronger today than they ever were? Back here, all you could do with Bitcoin is buy a pizza. Right here, all you were doing is buying, fear of missing out, hoping the next fool would pay more than you. That was the model then. But now crypto has been integrated into our world. Companies like PayPal and Square and Visa are using the blockchain, and corporations are putting crypto on their books, in their treasury, because it's more valuable than the dollar. That's where we're at today. So what's going to happen? Hey, who's to say? But if it does what it has done in the past, we're going to be looking at a Bitcoin of over $100,000 this year. This year. And if the model holds out, and I'm sure you guys will still be around in 2024, 2025, 2026, we could be looking at a Bitcoin running or valued at close to $1 million or more. This is not pie in the sky. This is just a possibility, maybe a probability. And if Plan B, if stock to flow model is correct and continues to be as correct as it's been for 10 years, then you guys are starting at a point where whatever you do, you got the tide on your side. The tide is rising. And if you're in a boat and if you've got crypto, you're going up. That's my opinion. This is just the undercurrent, though. It doesn't mean anything because I'm making my money regardless if the market goes up or if it goes down. And that's the good part. And just to put a little icing on the cake, this was an article that came out in June, and it was by Plan B, the very guy that created and programmed the stock to flow for Bitcoin. He actually says right up at the top, 135,000 for December. That's what he thinks is his worst case scenario. And if you look further down in the article, you can see his best case scenario is $450,000. Is that possible? You bet it is, because we've seen increases of that much before the past many times. And though we are in September and we've got October and November and December before we get to the new year, we've got a little time here. And maybe it'll hit 135. Maybe it'll just hit 100. Who knows? But I believe that the odds are in our favor that Bitcoin is going to be worth more than it is today. And that's good. That's good for us. It's good for the plan. But even if it doesn't, we would still be making money. So are you in the right place at the right time? Hell yeah. Look at this. Bitcoin is more scarce than gold. A lot of people don't know how this works. But Bitcoin is mined, just like they mine gold, but they have to get pickaxes and dig it out of the earth. They have to do it in a digital way to get Bitcoin out of the code. Bitcoin is a decentralized protocol. There is no government that controls it. There's no entity that can stop it. It is ubiquitous around the world. It lives on a network. And it doesn't exist in any one place. There's no CEO of Bitcoin. There's no customer support help desk. This thing is in the wild and will be there for the rest of your life and longer. It's becoming the official currency in some countries. And that trend will likely continue. But it's more scarce than gold. There will never be more than 21 million Bitcoin in the future. That's it. And they've already mined most of it. And amazingly, Bitcoin has created 60,000 millionaires as of today. And you're looking at one of them right here. But there's no reason you could not replicate what I will teach you, what I'm doing. Out of all of the assets that have ever been on this planet, BTC has the best performing track record of anything. Why would you not be interested in that? It has beat everything else, stocks, commodities, gold, you name it, by 1,000% for a decade. And you're sitting there scratching your head thinking, well, maybe I'll get into this. Give me a break. What kind of proof do you want? I'm going to show you proof how you can make money minute after minute, but I'm just trying to get you to understand that this is not a fad. This is the future. This is not something that works sometimes. This is something that has been working 1,000 times better than everything else for a decade. So let's look at how I make my money. Let's look at the core of what I will start you with in the beginning so you can start making money safely minute by minute by minute. Here's what I'll teach you, but you don't have to do anything because there is an automated software that does this for you. Basically, you're going to set up a trap. You're going to set up kind of like a spider weaving a web to catch a fly. You notice they don't just have one strand. They create a web because they want to catch a fly or two or three or whatever bug is flying by, right? Well, that's what I'm doing as well. I create a top of a range. It's called a grid. And I create a bottom of a range. And some of the lines are red and some of the lines are green. And these are open orders that will live on your exchange. Now, an exchange is just kind of like a little bit like a bank, but they take care of your trades for you in the crypto world. And we will recommend, there are dozens that you can use in the United States or anywhere around the world. So we'll help you with all of that. Your money will always remain in the exchange at all times. I don't have access to it. The software doesn't have access to it, nothing like that. But these lines are going to get set up kind of like a trap, kind of like a web in order to catch the wiggle of the crypto that you're investing in. The red lines are what are called open sell orders. And whenever the price hits a red line, it's going to sell just a little bit of crypto. And the green lines are open buy orders. Whenever the price hits a green line, it's going to buy just a little bit. And it's going to be the wiggle down to hit a green line and the wiggle up to hit a red line that's going to create this vending machine money. And it works like this. The price comes and it hits a green line. You're going to buy a little bit. The automation is going to buy a little bit, maybe 20 bucks worth of crypto. And then it's going to wiggle and maybe it goes up and it hits a red line and it's going to sell a little bit of your crypto. And you're going to make maybe 25 cents or 50 cents, some small amount, like a vending machine. And then the price is going to wiggle down because that's all that crypto does. It just wiggles all day long and it'll buy a little bit more. And then let's say it wiggles
all right, folks, welcome back
further and it'll buy a little bit more. And if it keeps going down, it's buying using the most trusted and respected method of buying that man has ever heard of. It's called dollar cost averaging, buying a little bit incrementally as it goes down so that you end up with the best average price. It's done automatically for you. And then after it goes down, the software knows to turn the green buy line into a red sell line so that when it wiggles on back up, boom, it sells and you make a profit again. And this just goes on and on and on. It's called making your money by wiggle or wiggle your way to wealth. And it goes on and on and on and on 24 hours a day. You look at it and it's kind of fun, but there's nothing to do. Now, some of you are thinking, yeah, Dan, but you know, these exchanges, they charge fees. There's an exchange fee. Every time you do a trade, you got to pay them. And so how do you make any money? Well, the exchange fee is this tiny little portion of your game, all right? And all of the numbers that I have shown you thus far and all of the numbers that I'm going to show you as we go forward here are all net, 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 money in my pocket or money in the pocket of whoever's doing this. I've already deducted the exchange fee out. So in reality, when I said I made 25 cents in this example, probably I made 30 cents. I had to pay the exchange 5 cents. So my net is 25 cents. So I'm not trying to buffalo or bamboozle or trick anybody. I'm speaking the truth. You need to understand this so that you can get beyond the doubt, beyond the, hey, this is too good to be true. You got to get beyond that. Here's what it looks like in the real world. On the right side, all of those dots, that's price wiggling around in my spider web, in my grid. There are over 100 lines in the grid, and the range that is covered is huge. So when you hear about crypto or Bitcoin crashing and it drops 20%, that's a tiny little area of the large spider web, of the large grid that I've built. So who cares if it drops 20%? Because as it drops, it's wiggling like crazy. In fact, I make some of my biggest gains when the headlines are telling everybody to crawl under the bed. And then it goes up and it goes down and it goes up and it goes down. And who cares? It's within my range. And if the price goes up above the range, guess what? The range follows. And if the price goes down below the range, guess what? If I want, the range follows. So I'm always in the range, home on the range, right? On the right is what it looks like today. On the left is what it used to look like back in the old days when I had my vending machines. So this is like a modern day vending machine without having to tug quarters around, without having to go and convince business owners to put your machine in their place of business, without having to load bubble gum into the top of the machine, without having to go, at midnight when somebody calls you and tells you your machine's been taken over by ants. The ants are in there eating your bubble gum. I didn't know, ants had teeth and could chew gum, but boy, they do. That's what this is all about. So here's what I'm going to do now. I'm asking you for your patience, but I'm going to show you every single beta group participant that joined me in the beginning. Every one of them. There was about, I forget exactly, 15 or 20 or so. And I'm going to show you all of them. Okay. What I want you to know about this group is that these people all paid $10,000 or more in order to spend private one-on-one time with me. Because in the beginning, it's kind of funny, but this is what we did. We didn't know whether people would be interested in this or not. But I knew one thing. I didn't really want to teach a course because I was making money doing nothing and I had no complaints. And so I said, look, I'll do it, but gosh, it's got to be worth my while. And I don't want too many people to say yes because I only have so much time in the day. And so we decided to put a pretty good price on it. It was somewhere between 10 and 20,000 that people paid in order to spend a couple of hours with me. And I showed them what I've already shown you. And I showed them how to get set up and everything. All of those people are still doing this. And I'm going to show you their accounts in 1 second. But here's the funny part. We did a little mailing out to a small list. And there were so many people that signed up and paid $10,000 to $20,000 that I could not get through the list. There's too many. And so here we were. We had a problem on our hands. We needed to unsell the plan. We needed to tell people, look, Dan only has 24 hours in a day, and there's just no way he'll ever get to you. There's too many people that have said yes, and too many people that paid $10,000. So we were unselling them, and we were giving them their $10,000 back. I only worked with about 20 or so people. And we told the others that, hey, I'll create a course. So the reason there's a course, it's kind of funny, but it's because I kind of got trapped. I kind of got in a scenario where I had all these people really wanting to learn this. They'd paid $10,000 and now I felt obligated. And so I decided to create a course, make the price a lot lower. You'll see in a moment. And we had those people go into the course. So that's the way this came about. I'm happy I'm doing it now, but people did kind of drag me across the finish line to do this because I love teaching. You guys probably pick up on that already. I really love it. But I was ready to just kick back and make money doing nothing. I want you to understand that as I show you all these examples, that these are statuses. Okay. I have to clarify that because these are live, active automations. I'm not going to show you results because you don't know the result until you get to the end. It's like a baseball game. I could show you what's going on in inning 1 and inning 2 and inning 3 and so forth, but we really don't know the result of the game until it's over at the end. So what you're going to see are the live, play by play, minute by minute statuses of all of the people who started with me in the beginning. Now you're thinking, why am I showing them all to you? Because I don't want you to think I'm cherry picking. Because I could just go and pick the good ones, but no, I'm going to show you everybody. The good, the bad, the ugly, and the amazing. You're going to see it all right? And as I show it to you, I want you to understand that this is data coming in live from the exchange. These individuals have agreed to allow me to share this. You're not going to see their names or account numbers. You're just going to see their status. And it's being run through the automation software, a third-party software. I don't create the software. I just show you how to set it up. I show you the secret formulas that I have developed over the last 3 years. And if you were to stumble upon this software in the wild, let me give you a warning. I lost money with the software for about a good 6 months before I figured it out. And I have at this point put through over $6 million through the software. I have done over 10,000 of these grid bot automations in order to figure out a very, very simple formula. And that's really what you're getting from me. You're getting the formula or formulas. You're getting the plan, the strategies, all of the stuff so that you can do this and hopefully make money in a big, big way. So let's pop over and let's take a look at my live browser. Now, hopefully, every once in a while, I have some challenges with my internet. Hopefully that doesn't happen. But here we are. This is my live account right here. And I want to quickly go right here and show you, let's see if I can find it here. Yeah, oops, here, right here. You can see this one. On that very first screen that I showed you, if you remember, I showed you that I had one that had made over almost 250% return. This is it right here, okay? Now let me explain to you just a few things. There's a lot of numbers on this page and there's these dots and all this kind of stuff. And it can look a little scary or a little overwhelming. But I'm just going to quickly point out some things that you should look at. And then as you take the course, I explain it all. This is not complicated. The analogy is if you can remember back the very first time you ever got in an automobile, you're first learning to drive, and you're sitting there behind the steering wheel, and there's the odometer and the speedometer, and there are all of these things. The only thing you're interested in is the radio, right? But still, you're trying to figure out how to drive so you can go pick up your date or maybe get a six-pack or whatever you're going to do, right? You are a teenager. Well, let's go back and kind of revisit that, because this is like being a teenager again, only this time, if you learn how to drive this dune buggy, it's going to make you money minute after minute after minute, okay? A lot better than a six-pack. So don't get scared off by all of this. Most of it, you don't even have to look at. And there's some settings over here on the right. It's about 6 or 7 settings. And I'm going to show you how to fill that in the course. In fact, we even have a new thing where we're going to actually give you the settings. We'll talk about that later too. But down here underneath the chart, this is the chart, and you see all the dots there. Down here underneath, these are the individual automations or bots. This is bot number 1. This is bot number 2. This is bot number 3. And we've got these columns. And I'm going to run through this real quick. Don't even try to, worry if you don't understand it. But this is the coin pair that's being traded in the first column. This is the exchange that it happens to be at. Here's KuCoin. Here's Binance. This thing works with over 25 different exchanges, whichever one you like. There's one everywhere. We were doing this in like 70, 80, 90 different countries already. The bot will make money. That's the wiggle money that I explained earlier. When it wiggles down and makes a little purchase, and it wiggles up and it makes the sell, and it makes 25 cents or 50 cents or some small amount of money, minute by minute by minute. And this shows you, like, this one has made $25. This one has made $314. This has made $1,336, whatever. And you go on down the list. This one's made $10,200. It shows you how much has been made. All right. Then here it shows you the number of days this has been running. This has only been running 2 days and 13 hours, and it's made $25. This one's been running for 4 days, and it's made $314. And so it goes. This one down here has been running 1 month and 4 days, and it's made $5,194. Okay. The bot is just making wiggle profits. It can only make profit because it is programmed only to buy low. And then when it wiggles up just a little bit, it immediately sells it. Tiny little investments over and over and over. And this is always profitable here. Now, how can you lose money? I know people are thinking, gosh, this just sounds crazy good. How can you lose money? Well, the bot makes profit. But the value of this coin, as you can see here, it goes up here and then it comes down here. And that's the way crypto is. It goes up and it goes down. And there you have it. You can see it goes up here, it's kind of flat right here, and then up here and what have you. The way we make our money with grid trading is different than what you're hearing in most of the YouTube guru kind of movies that are out there. Because what generally people do is they try to figure out, like Nostradamus, how to buy some crypto when it's down here, not knowing what the future is going to be. And hopefully it's going to moonshot way up here, and you're going to know exactly when to get out because you just happen to be up at 3:30 a.m. in the morning, and you can sell it then. But it usually doesn't work out that way. You usually buy in and the darn thing goes the opposite direction, or else it shoots up and you're asleep and you miss it. By the time you up and about, you've lost all that gain. And it's risky. You don't get any money at all along the way. That's not what I'm doing. Forget the moonshots. In fact, you don't even make that much money off of moonshots and parabolic runs. We make our money during the boring phase, right here where the market's not doing much of anything, just kind of thinking, should I go up? Should I go down? Did you know that 80% of the time, all markets just go sideways? 80% of the time. 10% of the time they go up, 10% of the time they go down. We make money in all of those markets, but we make our most during the 80% of the time when everybody else is twiddling their thumbs, hoping something's going to happen. And we're sitting there making money, making money, making money, making money. So I'm not interested in this. You can see there aren't even that many dots as it goes up. That's because it's not wiggling that much. This is where I make a fortune. Okay. In fact, I make a fortune when it's going down too. In fact, you can actually, in some instances, buy or start with a coin that's up high, and then it will wiggle and go down, 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 down. And the value of the coin is lower than when you started, and yet you are in profit. It seems crazy. It's like saying, okay, here's a business. Buy something when it's expensive, wait a week or two until it becomes cheap or it loses its value, and then you get out. People would think that's a crazy business. How can you make money? Well, the way we do it is that we're making incremental money all along the way. So even if the profit is, or the price is going down, we could be making more money off of the wiggle than the loss of the value of the coin. It doesn't seem to make sense, but that's the way it works. So that's what we're doing. And that's what you see here. This is a beautiful thing. And you can see that I actually started right here, somewhere in here. Okay. Maybe way back further. Okay. But anyway, started like right down in here, and there aren't any lines down here. And you're trying to think, well, how did you get dots down here? Well, the reality is, as I told you earlier, this darn range follows. So the range used to be lower, and I was making money down here. And as the price started going up, the whole range just follows along. That's why I'm saying there's not nothing to do, because The automation does it for you. The strategy does it for you. But there are times when it drops. And when that happens, the value of your investment could go down. And that's what this value column is. This could go down. Okay. So let me show you an example here. This is a pretty good one. Okay. This is one right here, Trius. And if I take a look at Trius, you can see that, I'm just picking one randomly here, but you can see I started up pretty high. Okay. Well, it's all over the place, really. You know, and it goes way up here and then it comes way down here. And in fact, now it's below the grid. And yet, if I click in the admin area and take a look at this thing, you can see that my initial funds, I started with $5,000 in this. And now current funds, I have $9,664. So in this case, this is worth almost twice as much as it was, or twice as much as the money that I put in. And if you want to see a crazy one, I know you won't believe this, but let me show you that one that I showed you on that first slide right here. This is a coin called TVK. And you can see here, I put in $3,462. That's it. 2 months and 7 days later, it is worth $16,899. Okay. Now it is a combination of money. Part of the money is made from the wiggle. That's the $8,549. That's my bot profit. And the other is from the increase in value because the coin has gone up in value. So this plays out where you've got two things going at the same time. The bot is always making money and the price is going up and down and up and down. You know what? We just let it do its thing because we don't rush to shut these things down. There will be times when the value of the automation is down, but we don't worry about it. Why? Because the wiggle money is still coming in. It's like a rental property. Let's say that instead of these being bots, they were rental properties. And I've got 14 of them here, 14 rental properties. Would I sell the rental property if the rent was coming in? No, I wouldn't do that. Would I even call my realtor every day and say, how much is my property worth? No, because as long as this thing is generating income, and in this case, it's wiggle income, but in the property analogy, it would be rental income, I'm a happy camper. So this is like I own 14 rental properties. I've got 14 tenants that pay me regularly. They never complain. The roof never leaks. The pipes don't bust. I never have to mow the grass. There's no maintenance whatsoever. I do nothing except collect the rent, collect the rent, collect the rent. I do not call the realtor every day and say, how much is my property worth? How much is my property worth? Because I don't care. But that's the value column. You don't care what the value is because the value changes all the time, both in real estate and in crypto. But at some point in the future, you can close a bot down. And when you do, you're going to try to do it at a point in time when the value is up. But here's the cool part. I have to keep reminding you this because it's not normal. Normally, you get your gain, kind of that big bang for your buck when you close, right? If you have a property and you sell it, boom, it's when you sell the property that all of a sudden you walk away with 20 or 30 or $100,000, whatever. But this is different. You're getting your gain all along the way with this one. And when you close it, all that happens is the rent stops coming in. The vending machine money stops coming in. And 2 minutes later, you're going to say, gosh, I want to do another one. So that's what's going on here. All right. So we know we have coin pairs. I'll teach you how to find those. I'll even hand them to you. Here's the value. That's how much you would get if you close the bot on a particular day. We don't close these things very often. These things run for weeks and months. Some of them we set up to run for a year or longer. Here's the bot profit. It's always profit because that's all the bot can do. Here's the amount of time that the bot is running. Here are the number of grids and transactions that occur. And this just tells us the status. There will be times where, let's take a look at Well, we'll look at this one here again. There'll be times where the bot is below the grid. Okay, this may not load. I told you guys earlier, sometimes my internet's a little slow in loading all this data. But hopefully you can still kind of see it here on the screen. Sometimes the price is below the grid. I can set this to follow so that it actually trails down, or I can manually regrid as well. So there's a way to deal with and handle that type of situation. I generally don't worry about it. If it drops below the grid, I just wait. Don't worry about it. It generally pops right back up into the grid. So enough of all that. Let's take a look at, there we go, finally came in. Let's take a look at some other accounts. Now, these are all live accounts, okay? In other words, I am in a web browser, Chrome right now, full screen, and these are the actual accounts of every single member that started with me and paid 10,000 or more. I want to show you their results. We're going to go through these very quickly, and I'm not trying to hide anything. I won't always scroll down because unfortunately it only shows like a few. Excuse me. But I'm just going to show you enough so you can get a feel for what this is like. Now, don't assume that because you see a lot of money here that means that it's indicative of what your results will be. I've got to tell you that. But this is what's going on, the status of all the people that I worked with in our beta group number 1. So this person put in a total of this person put in a total of 46,000 and some change, $46,000 they put in. The bot has made $6,500 in profit, and the market's down a little bit. If they were to close today, their net would be $2,443 in profit, but they're not closing. So this number here is kind of a just a status number. If a person, for some crazy reason, wanted to close down, they could, but why would you? So the bots made this money. This is the value based on the value of the coins. Now, this is a summary line at the top, summarizing all of the bots that you see here. And there are 15 of them. You can see 15 bots running, $46,000. This is the bot profit. This is the market value. All right, so let's look at another one. This person, okay, 43,000. They have 3,000 in. They've made $3,051 in profit. That is a 7.46 return. And by the way, you got to look at the time. This is 6 days, 5 days, 4 days, 4 days, 4 days. That's a 7.46% return in a week. A week. Try to get that at your local bank. And the market value right now is here. Let's look at the next one. And by the way, there's all kinds of amounts here. Wait a second. Hold on just a second. I want to make sure this thing is not refreshed improperly. Oh, no, we're good. We're good. Okay, so this one here, we have 57,000 in. They've made $5,466 in bot profit. And the market's down right now for them. Look at that. They're down $10,400. Do they care? Nope, because they're not selling. And right now, if you guys have been watching, the market has been in a dip for the last week or so. And I will show you why this doesn't matter. In fact, I'll tell you now that every time you have green, you've had red before, because it's like every other business. In order to sell a token or a coin in crypto, you've got to first buy it. And so this is inventory acquisition. When the market dips down, the automation, you can see it right here. You know, it's not much of a dip, but the automation is buying assets so that when it comes back up, it will sell them. And that's the way it works. It's like Pac-Man in a way. You know, it'll go down to the bottom and it goes red when it does that because it's buying using dollar cost average. And then when it goes back up, it sells, and you end up with a ton of profit. That's the way it works. Let's look at another one. Okay, this one, they have $68,000 in. They've made a 20% return on their money. Looks like they've been doing it for, here they started 3 months ago, then put some more in a month ago, 20 days ago, they added more. They did more 11 days ago. And within that period of time, this investment has brought them a 20% plus return Market's down a little bit, but again, that doesn't matter. This is the profit the bot has made. Now, I also want you to think about this. You have to ask yourself, if a person, this is probably when I started them, okay? 3 months and 14 days ago. That's when I showed them. And they, with me looking over their shoulder, set up 3 bots, okay? Then later, a month and 17 days ago, they set up another one. And then 20 days ago, they set up another. And then 11 days ago, they set up a whole bunch more. Let me ask you this. Why would they keep setting these things up if it wasn't working, if it wasn't making money? And let me tell you another interesting fact. We told every single person that started in this first beta group, we told them, look, $25,000 is the most we're going to let you do, period. You cannot put more than $25,000 into these automations because we wanted you to play it safe. We wanted you to understand how it worked. And then once you feel good, you put as much in as you want. So the fact that there's 68,000 in here means that the person must like this. Not only have they made money, but they're putting more in because it's working. And they've been doing it for 3 months and 14 days. Let's look at another one. Okay, this one, they have 43,000 in, same thing. Why do they have 43,000 in? We didn't let anyone start with more than 25, okay? And you can see the bot has made a 7.46% return, and they've done that. Look at this, folks. Look at this. 6 days, 5 days, 4 days, 4 days, 4 days, 2 days. You tell me where you can take money, stick it in, and make 7.46 return in a week. A week. Too hard to believe. I know. Too hard to believe. Let's look at another one. Okay. Okay, here we have 62,000. They've been doing this. Looks like they started way back at the beginning. About 3 months, 13 days is when they met with me. They've been adding more bots during that period of time. They are up to a 29.88% return on this money from the bot profits. The market is down a little bit right now. This is a beautiful picture right here. Now, I do also have to mention one other thing. I'm only showing you the live status of all of these active members. If they have closed bots and made money, you don't see that here. Unfortunately, the share capabilities when the software only shows the live active automations. So I can assure you, probably all of these people have had some bots that they've closed out and moved on to others. And there are likely gains, probably a few losses as well, that aren't showing here on the screen. I don't have an ability to show you that. I'm just showing you what's been going on. And you've seen for the last 3.5 months, these have been working. This one's made $1,000. This one's made $3,000. This one's made $3,000. This is made $2,300. That's what's happened. And over that period of time, they've made $16,358. You don't have to have $62,000 to do this. Just a few thousand will work. I'll show you that information in just a bit. Let's look at another account. This one, they have 72,000 in. They've made 8.31% profit. Market's down a little bit right now, but they don't care. Here's another one. They've got 34,000 in. They've made a 9.76% return. Market's down a little bit. This thing's just kicking out profit over and over and over. Let's take a look at another one. This one, they have 188,000 in. It has made them $52,000 profit. It's in their pocket, folks. That is money that is already in their exchange. They could have gone out and, bought a car with that if they wanted. It's a 35% return. And in their case, it's worth $42,000 if they were to shut every single bot down right this moment. That's how much they would have netted. Take a look at another one. They have 158,000. Okay, let's take a look at another one. 41,000. They've made $13,600, a 41% return. If they walked away and just closed out everything today, that would be their net. Take a look at another one. I'm sorry there's so many to show you, but I don't want you to think I'm cherry picking. Once again, 43% profit, 22% today's value. 7% profit, today's value. Same thing. Just keep going. Here's 104. Just keep going. Here's 98,000. Okay. They've made 24,000 in bot profit. Here's one. They've got 16,000 in. They've made 5,165. Market's in a bit of a dip right now, but this is money that's in their pocket, folks. That's in their pocket. 13,000 invested. They've made 3,000 in their pocket. The market's down, but they don't care because they're still making wiggle. And this is the last one I show you. And boy, does this one ever take the cake. This is a person that has over $500,000 in here. Now, we told them 25,000 is the max. So ask yourself, why would they put over $500,000 in here if this thing wasn't working for them? They only have 6 spots going, and you can see this one's been running for 3 months. This one's been running for 1 month and a half. This has been running for 15 days. Okay. And get this, the bot from Wiggle Profits has made $39,000. And because of their increase in value, they've made $182,000 if they were to close down all the bots right at this moment. Raise your hand if this is too hard to believe. Raise your hand if you think that you just couldn't replicate this. Well, I hope you're not raising your hand on the second question, because you can replicate this, or at least I can show you what these people are doing. I can show you. Let's pop back over to my slides and see how you might get involved. Here we go. We're going to talk about the member benefits. If you become a part of the plan, if you join the thousands of people that are already with us, it's very early. We're still in beta. But if you join with the people all around the world that are doing the plan, here are the benefits that you're going to receive. I'm going to paint a bigger picture than what's available for you to join today, because I want you to see how significant this is. But I want you to also understand that we are in phase 1. And what I'm going to talk about is only phase 1. This webinar is only for phase 1 of the plan, but there are other phases. There's more for me to share with you. But today, where we are and where almost all of our members are, we are at phase 1. And that's what's available for you to engage with. In phase 1, it's called GridBot Gold, and I teach you how to do what you have seen in the presentation thus far. I also show you how to do advanced hodling so that you can peel off the profits from your grids and hodl it away and make more money than the average hodler does. You will learn everything you need to know to create $1 million plan. And I know it's $1 million plan because more than one person has made $1 million or more from precisely following the plan. You will learn my famous do nothing strategy, and it's going to be hard. You're going to want to do something, but there's nothing to do. There are 6 intensive sessions. I say intensive, I should say robust. I go into all of the details so that you can understand how this works. But at the end of the day, it takes 5 minutes. You click a button and you go live life. But I'm going to show you a lot of stuff so you understand it. It's like when you get in the car to drive away, you don't need to know how the motor works, but it is kind of fun to raise the hood and look under there and say, wow, look at this and that. And it looks cool, right? That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you under the hood, but you don't have to know all that inner workings. You just need to know the settings, what to do, click the button, and boom, go off and live life. You will actually be able to benefit from coin pair settings. We'll talk about that in a moment. This is low risk, high reward. Yes, you can lose money in crypto, but I will try to show you how to avoid that. And talk about support. We have what I call extreme support. Not only do we get back to you rapidly, we read your inquiries and truly try to help you. We know how important it is. And if our first tier of support can't answer the question, even though they are all very, immersed in the plan, it rolls up to our A team. our tier 2 team. These are the people who you saw their faces on my early slides. It's Elaine and it's Daniel. It's Tony. All of these people together, Ashley, Mikey, all of these people together are answering your questions. All of these people have thousands of dollars invested in the plan. They know it inside and out, and they're there to help you. In other words, this is extreme support. If they can't answer the question, there are two authorities at the top of this, myself and Tony. Tony was with me for the entire 3 years. He replicated every trade that I did. You have two experts at the top here, and we will answer your questions. There's no excuse for not doing this. If you're afraid, if you're concerned, whatever, you're going to get the help that you need. We're here to help you. It's for beginners and it's for pros. The beginners sometimes do better. That's right. You know why? Because the pros have been doing other types of crypto, and sometimes it's hard to unlearn things so that you can do it in a different way. I even had that problem. I know how to trade. I know how to do all the other stuff, and I do dabble in it, but that's not where I make my money. I make my money doing what I'm showing you in the plan. But those people that have been in crypto for a while, sometimes it's hard to unlearn it and open up to something that's new and different. But this is for both beginners and pros. But this is only phase one. There are opportunities everywhere in crypto land. And I am engaged in all of it in a major way. And I've done the same thing in other areas of crypto as I've done with these grid bots. I figured out the sweet spot. I've cracked the code and I've simplified it so other people like you can do it. So in the future, it's not part of what you're getting today, but in the future, if you want to add on, if you want to continue the journey, there are other phases, and this will open the door to more profit and more opportunities later. Just to wet your whistle a little bit, in phase two, we talk about DeFi secrets and mega returns. Incredible. What can I say? Also in phase three, we get into a grand scale crypto rebalancing where you're able to hodl the entire crypto space or favorite decentralized categories if you want. Again, we're still doing nothing. All of my strategies centralized are focused around that. And then as we move into phase four, this is extra, but then I return back to these bots and I get into advanced stuff that wouldn't even make sense today. In fact, you have to run bots and do all of this stuff for, a while before you would even be able to digest and implement some of this advanced stuff. But that's available as an extra course in the future. Yeah, it costs more, but hopefully you'll be making enough money in the early phases to help fund as you move forward. And then, of course, there's more. I won't bore you with it, but this is a whole new world. The blockchain, crypto, it is affecting more than just finance. It's affecting life. It's affecting music, sports, art. Everything in the real world, traditional style is now being put on the blockchain, and there is opportunity everywhere. So what we're going to do is we're going to start the journey today, right? We're going to start, and I'm going to show you how to make money minute by minute by minute using the strategies that I've shared a little bit about in today's webinar. And then if you decide you want to go further, you don't have to. But if you decide you want to go further and want to invest in other courses that we offer, then you could do things where you could boost your profits. That would be phase two. Then you could go on and learn how to expand your assets. That would be phase three. And then you can go further and you can learn how to add extra advanced strategies to what you're already doing to just rev the gains up even more. And the journey continues. I want to be your tour guide. I'm volunteering to do that. I love doing this. I'm helping people everywhere. It's working, and there's not any reason at all you should not be involved. So let's talk about what it costs. If you want to invest in yourself, if you want to be involved in what's called phase one, GridBot Gold and advanced hodling, the first phase of the plan, we have two ways that you can come in. You're not going to pay the $10,000, $20,000 like all of the people whose examples you saw. You can start for only $2,500 one time. And guess what? You will get every single course that we do as we move forward, because this is in beta. It says beta pricing. I got to tell you up front, not everything is perfect. The slides might not be quite as good as they should be. I may reorganize kind of the way I train a little bit. The strategy is solid as a rock, but we are building this course. I have done it a couple of times already with our early beta groups. You will get a brand new version of it live. It'll be me teaching it, but I'm going to do it again and again. And we're going to keep perfecting this and updating it until we end up with a really highly polished version of this that will probably sell for quite a bit more. But for right now, if you can deal with a little bit of dust, a little bit of roughness here and there, it's only $2,500 one time, and that covers most of what you need. There are a few little ancillary things you'll need. I'll cover that in a second, but it's $2,500. If you need a little bit of help, we have an installment plan where you can pay $1,000 3 times each month. If all goes well, it's possible that you could make enough in the first month that it would cover the next payment and the next payment. Can't guarantee it, but you've seen the type of results and statuses that are possible. Now, to join, you go to theplan.rocks/join, but hang on, there's some more I want to show you. To help people, especially you newbies, we have a book that's been published. It's an international book, and it's called One Coin, Two Coin, What Coin, Bitcoin. It's a fun book that helps people get started in crypto. It's available on Amazon, but we're going to include it for free. It'll be the PDF version of this to help you in onboarding. In other words, those first steps to get you from the traditional world of dealing with a bank that's paying you hardly anything to moving your capital or some of your capital into crypto land, and then ultimately to an exchange where you can connect it up to the software and begin doing the plan. One Coin, Two Coin, What Coin, Bitcoin. This is crypto for grown-ups made easy. It's like a child's book, but it's written for adults. So this is step-by-step, everything you need. It was written by myself, Daniel Hall, who's a Wall Street Journal and USA Today best-selling author, Elaine Wilkes, 7-time award-winning author, as well as Lisa Rothstein, who's a cartoonist from the New Yorker magazine. This is just a wonderful little book to make it easy for you to get on board. It's yours free, a way of saying thank you for joining, and a bonus for each of you. In addition to that, we've just recently rolled out another bonus. In fact, what I'm going to do, Jason, who will be popping in for questions at the end, I'd like to have him come in and talk a little bit about the this particular bonus, because it's something we've just added. Jason, are you there?
Dan, I am here. And the big thing that is on people's minds that I can see in the chat right now, because I've been following it as you've been going along here, is, oh my God, what if I pick the wrong coins? What if when I set up my bots, I don't know, there's like 7,000 different coins that exist out there. And unfortunately, 6,500 of them, I wouldn't tell you to put a penny in, much less to set up a bot on. And so that's the big scary thing here, is even though there's relatively few things you have to do to set up a bot, you can in fact set up a bot in 5 minutes or less. You just put in a few key pieces of information. What people really want is somebody to give them the information to put it in. So all they have to do is copy and paste their way in there. And that's what we have here. And this bonus is so fresh, we don't have it on the page when you go and sign up. You will see nothing mentioned of that. And this is a bonus that is available to you that you get to utilize after you complete the training. So it's an incentive for you. We want you to learn how to fish on your own. And then in the future, you can decide how much you want to fish and how much you want us just to prepare, catch the fish, and give the fish to you. We will give you so many coin pairs. There's no way possible that you could utilize them all, even if you attempted to. But we'd rather overdo it and give you too much as opposed to underdo it and give you too little. So this is what we call CPR, coin pair research, where Dan or Tony, both absolutely high-level masters at the plan, they've invented it, are going through and creating settings. I've used these settings myself, and what Dan has shown me, I've produced over $25,000 in profit since I've started on the plan. And I didn't start with a whole bunch of money either. I didn't start with hundreds of thousands of dollars. So I've been so happy. I've never seen returns in my life. And they've essentially been following these pair recommendations that Dan is offering here. So Dan, go ahead and break down the more specifics of this.
I shall. So there are about 6 or 7 things that have to be entered into the automated software in order for you to start. So we give you all of those. It's all copy paste. And over on the right, you can see I'm kind of scrolling through the way it looks. This is each coin pair. We tell you what it is. We tell you the low of the range, the high of the range. We tell you the exchange that it works on. We tell you everything you need to know in order to do that. That's all available. And these are coins that we have researched. We have back tested everything to make sure that these have a good shot at doing well. And thus far, the results have been phenomenal. We'll give you the sweet spot. We'll tell you, the spacing between the lines. We'll tell you the number of lines or levels that you have to have. We'll tell you the starting points and the timing. You'll get this for 2 months, including, included with the plan phase 1. You'll get an average of 24 setups per month. And I'm almost laughing at this because we've given out, I think we've given out probably almost 100 settings already just in the week or so that this has been available. This is brand new. So there's going to be plenty of settings. And that means that anytime that you're ready to do a bot, you can pop in here and odds are pretty good that there would be one available for you to start with, or you could go by the training where I show you how to do it yourself. These are all copy paste ready. We do recommend that you first do them in demo bots. The software has a demo feature that lets you try things first with play money, which is really helpful. And we do recommend that. But eventually, once you're comfortable, then you would move it over to your real money. Now, in order to get this, you have to sign up before the countdown clock hits 0. And the countdown clock, this is not some type of urgency close or anything. It's just that we're trying to get all of the people set for the next trainings that come up. I'll give you the date in just a minute. And we have to do that. There's a process that you go through before you qualify to join the plan. And so and if you want to get this bonus, just make sure you sign up before then. In fact, let's talk a little bit about the requirements. There is a minimum of $3,000 in capital that's required in order to run a bot. So in addition to your investment in yourself and in the course, you're also going to need an additional, reserve of capital to put into your bots. We really recommend that you run more than one bot because there's diversity and safety in having multiple assets in these bots. But 3,000 is the minimum. If you wanted to have 2 bots, you'd need about 6,000. If you wanted to have 3 bots, you'd need about 9,000. This isn't a number that we're just creating. This is a number that's based on what the minimal, investment levels are at the various exchanges. If you think about it, a grid may have 100 lines on it. And if you are investing 3,000, that means they're going to divide the $3,000 across 100 lines. There may be, $20, $30 on each line. And the exchange has a minimum. They're different from place to place, but it might be $20, $25, $30 is the minimum that they allow on each line. So that's why we have this number here. So this needs to be money that you can afford to lose. We're going to show you all of the safety protocols that we use so that this hopefully doesn't happen. It has not happened with any of our current members. It does require a subscription to third-party software. It is the actual software that you saw live as I went through and showed you all of these accounts. There's an account that lets you run, I think, 5 automations for $50 a month. And then there's one that will let you run up to 15 automations for about $120 a month. And you can upgrade and go back and forth. But that is an additional investment that's required in order to do the plan. So where we're at thus far is you invest in the course, you need some capital to put into the automations, and then you'll need this software. So you have the prices on that. That's it. That is really it. This requires no trading skills. I'm not going to teach you how to trade. You don't even need to know what a candle is, and you're not going to be watching charts. It requires very little time. I am not kidding when I said this is a do-nothing strategy. But you do have to have the ability to follow simple rules. I do everything based on a rule set that I put together and I will share with you. And that is part of the core principles that we have and that I teach in the plan. You have to have a rule set. If X happens, then you do Y, okay? And so forth. That's part of the secret of the plan. We do require that you start in demo mode. We do not encourage anyone to put in their real money in the beginning. Luckily, the software has a very robust, it's so like real that you'll almost forget that you're using play money. But you are able to start, you are able to do all of the strategies that I teach and do it with play money in the beginning, and you will reach a time where you're comfortable in doing it with real money. It may take you a week, it may take you a month, I don't know, and it doesn't matter. There's no rush here. We're going to be able to do this for a long time, and you just want to make sure you do it right, and you don't want to do anything that you're not comfortable with. In addition, please understand that 100% of your investment capital and your crypto will always be in your control. We don't have access to it. The software doesn't have access to it. It will be in your exchange, and you can stop, you can pause, you can withdraw, you can do whatever you want based on your exchange policy, or you can rev it up, which is what every single person that I shared with you today, every single person chose that option. They revved it up. That's why you kept seeing 30,000, 40,000, 50,000, 60,000, up to $500 million in the plan. They didn't do that because they just got money falling out of trees and they just, willy-nilly. They did it because they see it working and they've been doing it for 3+ months. The plan, rocks.com/join. Now, here's what you should expect. After you join, please don't tell me you're not. After you join, I want to remind you that this is a beta program. So you need to expect that it's going to be a little unpolished. Not the strategies, just the presentation. Maybe our member area could be a little snazzier, okay? Things like that. But we got this thing really looking pretty darn good now. So even though it's beta, you might not even notice, but this is being sold as a beta program and we will be improving it. You're going to get all the improvements as we go forward. I'm hoping that you're going to be with me a year from now, maybe 2 years from now, maybe 3 years from now. And we're still going to be doing the plan. I'm going to still be doing it. I've been doing it for 3 years. Why would I stop now? This will require that you sign an agreement and an NDA, because this is something that you cannot share with other people. In fact, it would be dangerous to do so because there's more to it than just, hey, go do this, blah, 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 click the button and you're good to go. You may be sending your friend down a rabbit hole. They need a comprehensive understanding of what they're doing, and it's not legal, and you're going to share it, and you'll sign an NDA for that. There is a 100% money-back guarantee if after reading the agreement and the NDA, if you're not okay with that, then you just let us know. We send you your money back and all's good. You can put your money back in the bank and just enjoy your 0.5% a year. But if you sign the agreement, then your purchase is absolutely non-refundable. And you may think that we're just being ridiculous here because, if it's working so great, why don't you just offer a refund if it doesn't work for you? Here's why. The reason is because we are being inundated with people who want to join. In fact, inundated isn't the right word. Stampede, that's the word, stampede. People are understanding that this is life-changing. They're also understanding that we are here just to help, okay? And we've got an incredible team. There are over 30 people just in our support to help you. And people realize that and they want a spot. And if you're just going to stick your toe in the water and just say, maybe I like it, maybe I don't, then you're going to want a refund in 2 weeks. This isn't for you. Wait, because in a few months, we'll get it all polished up. The price will probably be higher. And then we'll get a refund program in place. That's our thought anyway. We'll see. But for right now, if you sign the agreement, there will be no refund after you've signed the agreement. We're not going to give you any financial advice in the course. I did not give you any today. There will be no tax advice, even though we will point out options and resources that will help you in the area of tax. And there are no guarantees of returns. I know that there were many examples that were revealed today in this presentation, and they are phenomenal. I showed you what I had to show you. I didn't cherry pick. I didn't have anything bad or anything worse than what I showed you. If I had something really awful, you would have seen it because I showed you everything. But still, don't assume that you're going to get results like what you saw. You're going to get whatever your results are, whatever the market delivers, and we'll do our best, right? theplanrocks.com/join. Now, after you join within 24 hours, you're going to receive the agreement that I talked about, and you need to read it. Yes, read it. You need to sign it and return it. Once you return it, then, hey, you're locked in. You've got your spot, and that's it. Don't go out and buy or sell a bunch of crypto today because I got you excited about crypto. Just because you saw the stock to flow thing, don't think, I don't need the course. I'm just going to go buy a bunch of Bitcoin because I saw that it's going to be worth $1 million in a few years. Don't do that. I wasn't encouraging you to do that. I want to show you the plan because you need something better than just willy-nilly buying some Bitcoin and hoping for the best. Also, don't go buy a yacht or a mansion or a Lamborghini, okay? I know this looks good, and you're probably thinking, whoa, this is it, man. Wait. Do it with play money first. Then you can put your real money in. Then follow the plan. I'll show you how to roll profits back in. I'll show you how to peel off profits on the top. I'll show you how to do what I did. You saw the numbers, 699,000. I roll it over, I hodl it. It's over $1 million, and that's just part of my portfolio. You're going to get to see exactly what I did. Exactly. Tony is going to be here too. He's going to show you exactly what he did. He did just as good. Everybody seems to be loving the plan. Now, you're going to get access to the member area pretty quick. It actually says it may take 24 to 48 hours, but we're going to be a little quicker than that. I need to update this slide. But you'll wait just a little bit after you submit your NDA, and then we will give you access to the member area. When you log into the member area, you need to start getting ready. And we put together a getting started guide. It's a PDF, and you need to complete all the steps there. It's basically showing you how to take your current assets, whether they're in fiat, meaning just regular money, and maybe they're in a bank, or maybe they're in your mattress, wherever it is, we'll show you how to get that money into crypto land. Or maybe you already have some crypto. That's fine too. We'll show you how to get that crypto and adjust it or move it around so that you can engage in the plan. We're not going to force you to sell anything that you're hodling and that you want to hold. We're just going to show you your options and you can make your own decisions. And we're never, ever going to have access to any of your money. That will always be in your control. The first training that we have scheduled, it's live, and again, it'll be me, will be on Thursday, September the 30th, and that's noon Pacific Daylight Time. Mark it on your calendar. I want to see you there. Come on. If you can't make it, it will be recorded. And you'll be able to access it probably the next day or as soon as we can render it in our member area. And you're going to want to watch it more than once. You're going to want to watch it multiple times. Don't take this lightly. Take it for what it is. Okay? I mean, if you're not picking up the internal happiness that I have, that I've discovered this, then you're missing the whole point of this. Okay? I'm not trying to pitch or sell or anything like that. I'm trying to share. And I want to help. but you got to join. So if it's time for a plan, as in Plan B, then it's time for the plan. And with that, I'm going to open it up, and we're going to take questions, and we're going to stay here until all of your questions are answered. So I'll invite Jason back.
Dan, thank you so much. Theplanrocks.com/join. That's the page. It does have a countdown timer. We have to get everybody on the bus before we all go into crypto land here together. We are now in the question answering phase and also some clarification phases as well. If you want to get anything cleared up that you kind of missed or weren't quite following along with. Let's start with some questions that I'm seeing in no particular order, but there's a significant concern, I should say, around the amount of capital required above and beyond investing in the plan to start a bot. It is true that you're going to need $3,000 to get a bot going. You could do more. Dan showed you an example earlier with his bot, his best performing bot that's still running right now. He started out with $3,500, and it's marching its way to $10,000 here in very short order, very quickly through a crash and all that other nonsense and noise. So the idea is it doesn't take a lot of capital to make a lot of capital. It's the strategy that is more important. But with that said, if you're really stretched thin financially, it is a tough decision you're going to have to make. You're going to have to decide, hey, listen, maybe I invest in the plan today, phase one, and then I accrue the capital to then deploy in later. Even if I don't know how I'm going to have $3,500 today, I have enough at least to join the plan at the $1,000 level. That is totally fine. You can do that. In fact, that might be advantageous to you because we highly recommend everybody start with demo bots. For fun, for giggles, we've been taking the bot settings that Dan puts in the members area for the CPR service, which you get 2 months of. And we've been running those through demo accounts, and the results are astounding. It is absolutely phenomenal, kind of taking a random sample set of just the pairs that he gives. So you could be setting up with bots in demo mode right now. And I will tell you, nothing will give you more urgency to make sure you have funds available to set up bots than to have a demo account running. Now, if you want to try to do this on your own, I don't recommend it because you will lose a lot before you start to win. Eventually, you will get there. But it will be more dangerous, far more dangerous to do it on your own than it ever would be to do it with us. It'll be more costly too. So from a cost benefit analysis, you want to get on the plan any way you can. That's the most important investment. And then the bots will come when the bots come, whether it's today or in the future. Dan himself started with less than $10,000. What you saw that was built, and it's built way beyond his portfolio of even over $1 million in the last year. What you saw, all of that came out of an $8,000-ish. It was between $8,000 and $10,000. We don't know the exact number, but we know it was under 10. That's where that seed came from. Because Dan originally had started doing it the way everybody else was doing crypto. And he started with 25. It went up to a lot, and then it went down to less than 10. And that's when he finally started doing it with the plan as he's showing you here with the bots. And so that's really important. I started with 25,000. And that was the limit because Dan told me the most I'm going to allow anybody to start with is 25. I started with 25. I made 10,000 on that 25 within about 45 days. So think about it from this perspective. If you started with 5,000, what would you have made in that instance, right? You would have made about $1,000. A return is a return is a return. And if you can do that in a couple months, you compound that, you're going to double, even triple or quadruple your money. It's crazy. What Dan also showed you here, and I want to be very clear with people because I don't think they appreciate some of the returns that we're getting here. First of all, he showed you the status of the people who had bots that are live right now, which I think if that's all that there was, the returns are amazing. 7% on roughly 2 months of money or a month of money or even 7 days. A lot of these people had bots for 7 days. That's a majority of the returns. Fantastic. But 4 out of 5 times, what I've noticed from the people I've talked to and from my own bots, 4 out of 5 times I close a bot, it's because it's a massive amount of profit. That's why I close the bot. I close the bot, I take it off the table because I'm going to reset the same bot up again with new settings. So I would absolutely bet a lot of money of mine to a small money of yours that the returns are significantly higher than what you had seen that Dan has shown you, because the majority of the time that you would ever close out of a bot, which does not show on the browser that he was showing you, it's because you're taking home a bunch of money. So oftentimes that is the case. And usually I close a bot just to start the same coins again. but with the new settings based on where it's at in the market. So something to think about. But that's usually after I've done nothing for 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks, 7 weeks, 8 weeks. Okay. Excellent. Some people are asking about, hey, I want to refer other people to this. There is going to be information inside of the plan as we get to there, but that's cart before the horse. Certainly, let's get you in the plan first. And then after you get going, you can speak to others through experience, which is the most effective, most ethical way of referring people. Okay. Full on lump sum you're going to put in for the course, whether it's 1,000 or 2,500, get you the exact same experience. You get the same course, you get the same access, you get the same everything. The only difference is because you're financing it over 3 months at $1,000 a clip, you're going to pay $500 more. It's as simple as that. So you can pick the option that makes the most sense for you. I will tell you, as far as the people that see the NDA and the participation agreement, we had a 99.8% acceptance rate to that. Last I checked those statistics as well. Okay. You can keep putting in as much money as you want. I have this weird feeling where it's like, I just like to ease into things like the plan. So I ease in. So every month I bring in another $25 or $30 or $35,000. It's funny. I bring in $35,000 a month on average, and I'll tell you why. Because I bring in my money through an exchange that has a limit of $35,000 unless you want to go down to the bank and do a wire transfer. And I don't want to go down to the bank do a wire transfer. I think wire transfer is like the horse and buggy technology of the financial world. So every month, I just throw 35 more at it, 35 more at it, 35 more at it. And then I put my bots in. Oftentimes, a majority of my bots have been built out of profit. I accrue $3,500 worth of crypto bot profit, and then I use that to set up a new bot. I've also taken the money and spent it too. I've done that. I've done quite a bit of that as well, and I'm very happy for that. So there's that. What about the taxes? Okay, but I'll answer this question too. Omar says, how much have you made so far? In bot money alone, I've made over $35,000. I have a portfolio that's active and running today. I also have, perks because I'm in phase 2 of the plan. I ain't even in phase 3 yet, but my phase 2 is just going equally as phenomenal for me as my phase 1. But our theory on that is let's springboard you into the future phases out of all the success that you get through phase 1 with bots. But we don't trust anybody else with crypto. We don't want you to go to anybody else. You're going to want to go to them because there's so much to crypto world because it's going to revolutionize almost every aspect of your day-to-day living. And so we're like, we better take care of you all along the way, but let's start with the most effective way to get in that we feel for everybody and anybody to get them onto the same page. Okay, now let's talk about the taxes, okay? Because some people have been asking taxes off and on throughout the training. Yes, you will pay taxes. There are very few countries, to my understanding, and they could change any day, that right now are giving you a free pass on taxes. So let's just assume you're going to pay taxes. Let me take it a step further. I hope you then pay more taxes than you've ever paid in your life because you've made more money than you've ever made in your life. Now, we can't give tax advice. It's different for each and every single person, but I will tell you, we've all went through it. I'm going through it right now because this is the first year I've ever owned crypto. Before Dan, I've had over 100 crypto experts pitch me on publishing their course through our company, Rapid Crush Inc. And I've turned them all down because I didn't see any real advantage to what they offered, that, going to Vegas wasn't as, hey, at least in Vegas, if I lose, I get some free drinks along the way, right? And I certainly wasn't going to put my own money in it, so I wasn't going to recommend anybody else putting their money into it. And then Dan showed me what he was doing here, the same thing he showed you today. And I was like, okay, let's go. And I was automatically in with my own money. And then I was also like, let's publish you and let's put you out there and let's support this with every ounce of fiber of being that we possibly have. And I'm going through taxes right now because taxes are absolutely a thing that you pay. And this is my first year of owning crypto. It's a process. It's not enjoyable. Going to the dentist isn't enjoyable either, but I go twice a year, right? And then it's done. You check it off your list and you move on. Don't let the fear of the boogeyman stop you from getting rich. Don't scare yourself unnecessarily and then sit out and stay on the sidelines while the greatest revolution of finances that has ever occurred in our history unfolds in front of you. Okay. Vicky says, whoop, I'm ready to roll. She gave me that emoji, the hands raised emoji. If you're also in already, give me the hands raised emoji in the chat if you know how to do that. I'm not even sure I know how to put in hand emojis in the chat, which is probably more complicated than setting up these bots. Okay. You will see the number of days, hours, minutes, and seconds before this offer expires. The bonuses everything that Dan said to you today is yours, whether we put it on the page or not. This is beta. You're going to hear us say that a lot. We're like, this is beta. We are laying the concrete down as we're moving down the road. We wanted to get this in front of you as fast as possible, as opposed to, building some very like everything is checked off and we got everything in order, because that would have took us 6 months. Now, when we do put that in place, because we're still doing that, we're getting that as well. You get that for free too. So any future updates to phase 1, you get for free. When it's finalized and done with all the fancy stuff where it's really glitzed out and all that, you get that for free too. Okay. Yep. Additional expenses, just if you're running, we'll review those again. Software runs $50 a month to start with, and then it goes up to $120 per month. It starts with a trial offer too, so you can do that. And then above and beyond that, what else is there? I think, Dan, what else was there?
Just the money for each bot and the software. That's it. The
software. Yeah. We will recommend a tax software to you. And that's like $500. You don't need that right away. And that's certainly something that you don't need it at all, period. But essentially that's kind of the all in if you wanted to total it all up and know what you're dealing with here. But mostly it's the matter of you want the plan, $3,500 per bot, and then you got to have the software in place whenever you need to. If you have any issues signing up whatsoever, because Samuel, I see you're having a little bit of a challenge here. I don't know if we can accommodate that one specifically, but anybody who needs help with getting signed up, support@rapidcrush.com. I want every single person here to write that down. And by the way, I saw all of the hands raised emojis. So we have a lot of people in. So congratulations and welcome. Support@rapidcrush.com. Our average response time is 22 minutes per ticket. Test us. Put us to the test. See if that's true or not. Write into support. See if you get a response back. On average, it's 22 minutes. And that's 365, 24/7. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We are so proud to support this. And we take this very seriously because this is your money. You need to take this very seriously. But we take it almost as seriously as you do. Nobody will take your money as seriously as you do. But we come pretty damn close. And the one thing we do is we help you get more money to take even more serious. theplanrocks.com/join. Okay. May I sleep on this overnight? Absolutely, Linda. There is no urgency to immediately sign up right now. You can talk to somebody about this. You can wait for the replay. Hopefully we'll get one. 8 out of 9 times we get a replay that works, and then we can send it out. Okay. I know a lot of people, though, based on the history of having offered this a few times. This is the 3rd time that we've done this beta rollout. Is, in our opinion, probably going to be the last time. I don't think we're going to plan on doing this again. I think this is the last time before we go full on final form course mode, which again, everybody here would get for free. A lot of people do sign up right away, though. And I chalk that up to the logical, obvious, it just makes sense factor. Where they're like, yeah, I don't need to waste any more brain cycles on this. It totally makes sense. Let's go. But if there are other factors involved, please take the time. You will see a theme throughout the plan from all phases and everything involved in it, where we urge extreme conservatism with everything that we do. It's really funny because you would think, given the nature of crypto, that we're like these crypto cowboys, like everybody else is. Have you noticed it's mostly these millennials, or not even millennials, whatever the next step down is from millennial? Is that Gen Z? I don't even know what it is, right? Have you noticed they're always the ones hawking crypto the most on the interwebs? It's because they don't care if they lose it all, because they're young. They don't care. They haven't spent their whole life building it up. They're not marching towards retirement, unsure of what's going to happen. And we don't like that strategy. But unfortunately, crypto has become synonymous with this, ride or die, like either get rich or we die trying scenario. We are extremely conservative. And you will see that in every step and situation that we go through. And we recommend the same for you, because this is real money that we're playing with here with real repercussions. And so with that said, you do have a chance to make a decision at any point during that time frame. But when that time frame is done, then you don't get the benefit anymore. Okay. Beta means, what does beta mean? Beta means this. This is the way that I like to say it, just as it's a metaphor. So this is not literal, but it's like What Dan has is the absolute end all be all of these bots. That's perfection. That's the Mona Lisa. We don't have to paint a mustache on that thing. It's done, right? But imagine the Mona Lisa being shown in a dark warehouse as opposed to, with all the lights on it in a big famous castle or wherever it's shown right now. I should know that before I use these metaphors. The Mona Lisa is still the Mona Lisa. But right now, we haven't had the ability to build the art museum and to put the lightings in there and find a way to have a line that takes 2 hours to crowd around it. We don't have the presentation of it. So we've put it in a brown paper bag and slid it across the table towards you because we didn't want to have to focus on all of those other things. And we can just focus on getting it in your hands, which is why we don't have a refund policy for this. Because unfortunately, some people will judge books by their cover and then never open those books. We're not ready to deal with those types of folks yet. We want to serve the folks who are in right now. And Beta then has its perks. The biggest perk is you get a huge discount. The second biggest perk is you start today. Because so many people, if you could have started 3 months ago, you would not be having the money concerns that you have right now. You wouldn't. Even if the number of amount of money you have in your hands wasn't significantly higher than when you started, you still wouldn't have concerns. And you know why? Because you're seeing a 6% return per month or a 9% or an 8% return per month. You start to worry less because you just see that thing continue to roll and grow on its own. That's why Einstein said compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world, for that very reason. And so it's more of when you see it happen, then all of a sudden life becomes easier, becomes natural. It feels really good, okay? It feels natural, right? Just to be absolutely clear here, this is phase one of the plan that you're investing in and getting. We have additional phases. We will not even really do anything to mention them, talk about them at all throughout the course. After you complete the course, then we will extend an invitation for you if you wish to move on to additional phases. And then at no point in time do you need to. And in very many of you, if you're not to the point we like you at, we will actively discourage you. We want you to get all the juice out of phase ones before you move on. But if we gave you all the phases simultaneously, first of all, it would fall on your head and explode. Second of all, you'd be adding an extra zero to your investment here today. So that's why we did it this way. And plus, this is where we want you to start. So our course, our rules, theplanrocks.com/join. Now, we have so many people that are also part of the plan because Dan's story rolled out like this. Dan and Tony got together. And then Dan heard Elaine talking about it, wanting to buy crypto. He says, let's get on a call together. And then from Elaine, he then talked to Daniel Hall. I've known Daniel also for about 10 years, actually longer than 10 years, about 14 years, I think. And all of these people sort of started coming together. And we have people that ask the following question on the chat here today. First of all, they ask, hey, if I'm in Canada, can I do this? Or anywhere else in the world? And yes, we have, and actually it's over 80 countries now. And we also have people say, because the crypto industry is very dominated by men, unfortunately, I don't know why, it just is. So a lot of people wonder, is this another good old boys club or is this just another man thing? And then they also wonder, hey, well, Dan is the course creator, Jason's the publisher. They're totally biased, right? Let's check in if we can. Ash, if you're there, go ahead and pop on here real quick. I want to do a mini impromptu interview with you here now. You're one of the newest additions to the plan in terms of informally with Dan sharing things and talking about things. So give us your background. Like, how did you get started with this? What's been your experience so far?
Great question. I've actually worked and partnered with Dan on a lot of different projects in the last 6 years. And he was just, like he had said beforehand, he found something that works really, really well. And he wanted to make sure that he shared it with his close individuals. And he's like, you got to do it. And I'm like, nah, I don't think I want to right now. He's like, no, you totally have to see this. So I'm like, okay, fine. Show me what we got. And like he is showing everyone here and all the students, I started with 3,000 bare minimum basics to get in, test the waters, did the demo bots first. And then I've incrementally worked my way up by taking all the profits that I've earned from the first bot, now up into 5 bots. Now I got 30K into it. So I just did exactly what he said to do. Follow the action plan, follow his rules, and just enjoy the process of not having to do anything.
So prior to this, you had how much crypto experience?
None.
None. And when did you start?
Oh my gosh, back in February, March. I have to go look at my bots now.
It seems like a long time, but it really isn't. And so it's been this year just as well. And you're from, where are you from?
I'm from Canada, the Great White North.
So crypto is a little different up there than it is down here in the US.
Yeah, it is definitely a little bit different. Every country obviously has their ways of working it, different banks, different rules, different sort of exchanges. But at the end of the day, after you start diving into it a little bit, it actually becomes quite clear the pathway in order for you to be able to very easily get into the space without having to worry too much. As you had mentioned beforehand, having to go into a bank and do wire transfers and all these different ways of trying to get your local currency into crypto land. And that was definitely one of my biggest concerns. But again, after working with Dan and of course our partners in here, it became very quick, very easily. With a click of a button, I can do an email money transfer from my bank account right to my online exchange, buy some crypto, throw it into a bot, all within the matter of minutes. So it's a little dazing at first, but once you get that clear action path and plan that of course is provided, it ends up being quite simplistic. And once you know that pathway, it's just rinse and repeat after that.
So you're tier 2 support now. What's that about?
Tier 2 is all the active partners who are really in the process of helping Dan and everyone else get all the information organized, accumulated, put together in a bite-sized format that is clear and concise. And so not only are we involved investors in ourselves, following what Dan's plans are, but we're also actively helping all of our members who are needing to have that extra level of support and in-depth insight as to what it is they're doing or what they're not understanding. So with the 30 support staff that Rapid Crush provides, they're doing such an amazing job. We get so much feedback on how that 20-minute return time of getting all their messages is it's ruining them, because they're I don't know anyone else that can respond so fast at any point in time of the day. And then when something needs to have that a little bit extra clarity, it gets moved to tier 2, which is myself, Ian, Daniel, Anthony, Elaine, and even Tony. We take those top tier ones and we really make sure that the clarity is there for those particular members. And we also provide, answer desk sections as well, which is just another way of providing that extra support and the extra clarity for the members who like to have that visual human interaction.
And then office hours. Can you speak to that real quick?
Yeah, the office hours answer desk. I know we have a few different names for it. That's what people absolutely love, because of course we have visual learners and audio learners, and people love to have different aspects. And with the fact that we can do such rapid fire response through email, people absolutely love that. But again, some individuals just like to have that human touch. So after every single session or once a week, we end up having a office hours or answer desk session where you're able to submit your questions 24 hours in advance to when we go live. And we collect all those, we go through them, we make sure that we have all the notes that we need for those particular questions/answers. And then we go live with our members and we just rapid fire through them and providing them, again, another way to hear an answer to the questions that are burning away at them that they want to have that clarity on. And people absolutely love that as well. So anything and everything we can possibly do to make our members feel heard and feel loved and get the support they need so they can move forward is everything that we're just, doing for them at the end of the day.
Any last words or anything to add?
Outside of everything that you had sort of just said, and especially the women in this space, it's absolutely amazing when I have more and more women who are reaching out to me on our social profiles or even the members inside our group. They absolutely love having different people from different countries, different backgrounds, different everything coming to the table in this new space. And they just absolutely love that we bring so much diversity to what it is that we're talking about today, because we're talking about the future. So I don't know if there could be anything better than that.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Ashley. Theplanrocks.com/join. Ashley started with how most people start: one single bot. She turned one bot into two into four. And before you know it, you add a zero. You start with 3,500 and you go almost up to 35,000. And she started the same way I started and the same way you're going to start. We all got pulled into the gravitational pull of Mr. Dan Hollings, who seems to have a knack for these things. I don't know if you've heard about this small little thing called The Secret. Sold hundreds of millions of dollars, was on Oprah and all that jazz. Dan was the marketing strategist behind that. He was the guy who came up with the concept of how do we take this thing and make it so it is everywhere. So he has the ability to kind of see the future in the present. Dan came into my life because he told me way back when everybody had dumb phones and almost nobody had smartphones, that the web was going to be mobile. And nowadays, over half of all web visitors on the internet are from a mobile device. And so we published a course by Dan over a decade ago that was in mobile. And then when Amazon did what Amazon did, Dan was first in line to that as well. He just has this knack of being able to see things before everybody else sees them. And then we just get behind him and we say, we're going to follow the leader. So that's how I got it. That's how Ash gets it. Hopefully you get it as well that way, theplanrocks.com/join. I will speak to one more thing. And then I got an interesting question for you, Dan. A couple of people have asked us, more than a couple of people actually said, can I pay in Bitcoin or can I pay with crypto? And here's a great, funny, interesting answer to you. And the answer is no, you cannot. And that's good. And let me tell you why that's good. First of all, you can't yet because the technology hasn't reached mainstream adoption. We can't do the tracking yet that's required to run the business that we run through Bitcoin yet. It's almost there. But isn't that exciting? Because people worry about, am I too late to crypto? No, it hasn't hit its tipping point yet. Are you too early though? No, that was the people that were buying, pizzas with Bitcoin way back in the day, or people that were just gambling. You're at the perfect time. You are sitting in the perfect position because that's Bitcoin's going to disrupt payment processors like what we use to check you out with, and PayPal, who we use. They're making a huge bet with that. It's going to disrupt loyalty programs. To where you can do way better loyalty programs. It's going to disrupt voting. The United States government has a patent on blockchain technology, specifically with voting. It's going to disrupt every industry that you could think of. I love art. I hope you could tell it's all behind me right now and all around me. It's completely disrupted the art space. I love building out bots that are from NFT companies. I think NFT is one of the hottest things going on right now. And I don't know how to do NFT art. I don't even know what that is. But I know the companies that lead the market in that. And I put them in the bots based on Dan's rule sets that he gives me. And I watch them wiggle like crazy. And every time some new article comes out where some 12-year-old kid made a whale with a couple pixels and he made $120,000, I say, thank you. Because that's the kind of stuff that it's disrupting in the art world. It's disrupting in the sports world. It's disrupting every world. You can take advantage of that disruption and profit, or you can be annoyed by things changing, which is what a lot of people do. They say, I want the milkman to bring me my milk. I don't want to go to the store. Well, there's no milkman anymore, whether you like it or not, If you're having trouble checking out, you go to support@rapidcrush.com, support@rapidcrush.com. And we'll be able to help you. We'll be able to take care of you. Okay? Dan, question for you. If somebody has zero experience at all with crypto, has no clue how to buy it, is the plan right for them?
Absolutely. I said it earlier, you may have an advantage because you don't have to unlearn some things that often you learn from dubious sources. And I don't mean that as to put down other people that teach strategy, but here's the fact. The majority of people that get into crypto do one of two things. They either trade or they hodl. If you trade, 95% of the people that do this lose money. It's just a fact, and there's no way around it. So that's not great odds. I don't teach trading. I don't recommend it. The other choice is actually a better choice for those people who have just bought some Bitcoin or bought some ETH. They're holding it, or what's called hodling it. And that's a smart thing to do. But, the problem with hodling is that it's future maybe money. It's like you put in $1,000 now and you hope that it's going to be worth $2,000 in the future. But during the interim, you've got nothing. And that's where the plan steps in, because the plan allows you to do both. It allows you to hodl, which is a good thing, but it also allows you to make revenue, ongoing revenue, minute by minute. I keep saying minute by minute. It's hard to believe, but again, think vending machine, think wiggling, think little purchase and transactions just over and over and over off of the wiggle and volatility of a very, volatile and wiggling market. That's what this is all about. So if you're new, you're at the right place. Not only I'm going to show you how to do the grid bot stuff and the hodling, but hopefully you'll make enough money and you can continue to invest and move forward so that you end up with a comprehensive plan across all of the areas of crypto. It's a huge, huge space. There's a lot of opportunity, and the early adapters stand to gain. So if you're new, welcome. I'm here to teach you. I was new 3 years ago. You heard Ashley just a few minutes ago. She was brand new just a few months ago. I'll be happy to help you. Just come on board.
Well, Dan, what if you already have crypto? Because some people are asking, they're like, do I have to liquidate my crypto? How does that work?
That's a good question too. If you already have crypto, congratulations. Okay, you made a smart decision somewhere along the line. What we will do is we will show you options for how you might go forth with that crypto. But we're not going to force you to do anything with the crypto that goes against what your inner instincts are. So if you've got some favorite crypto that you're hodling, great. We may be able to show you ways to hodl it better. In other words, to augment what you're doing, but you certainly won't have to liquidate it. However, there are some people that have crypto and they just bought it because they bought it. They don't even really know why. And they're just open to a strategy, a plan. That's what's missing with most people. Okay, so you don't want to be the man without a plan. Okay, you want to be the person that has a plan, and we will give you the plan, and it works whether you already have crypto or if you've never purchased crypto at all. There are many options. Most people are just sitting on their crypto. They don't even know if they made a good buy. They don't even know what it's all about. And then there are also other people, because I don't want to talk down. There are people out there that know a lot about crypto. And you're wondering, well, I already know this and I know that and I know that. What good's the plan going to do for me? I would say that for you, it's going to be the hardest, because you will indeed have to unlearn and rethink about the way you're approaching crypto. I know this because I came from your world. I was extremely immersed in what I call just the standard or traditional or the most common ways that people are dealing with crypto. And I chased every one of those rabbits right into a hole, only to find that, hey, that really wasn't the plan that I wanted. So if you will just step back and maybe set aside what you've learned and absorb this new information, then you can later merge that knowledge that you have back in with what I teach you, and then you can probably really accelerate. But we get questions sometimes. They come in on the support desk where people are asking me, what's the down draw period and what's the this and that, all this technical stuff, and what indicators do you use and all of that. That stuff doesn't apply here. And it's like you're asking smart questions, but it doesn't apply to the way we're doing this. This might seem too simple for you, but in reality, that's the beauty of this. It doesn't have to be complicated. Nobody wants to wake up and look at their computer screen and monitor all day long. Nobody wants to go bed at night thinking that they're going to lose half of their capital because the market might crash. Nobody wants to do any of that. What you want to do is to leverage, and I don't mean leverage in the sense of use leverage, but leverage knowledge, okay, in a way where you can have your capital work for you. To be for. And if you have your ankle, strapped to the desk and you're sitting there looking at charts all day, hey, take a look at this. I think you're going to like it.
Yeah. I mean, you can do it however you want to. The way I do it is once a month, I set up new bots. So I go in, I look at, first of all, the couch money. as we like to call it. We call it a couple different things, but you have to understand when the bot buys and sells, it takes it out of active trading world. So that's free and realized money. That's like your tenant. He hands you money from the rental property. He doesn't invest it into the painting on the walls and say, hey, listen, I paid my rent this month because I painted your house. No, that's money that's out of the market. So I will look at that couch money and then I'll say, okay, how much of this couch money this month do I want to use to fund the next amount of bots? I'll do that. I'll say, what bots do I want to retire? Meaning that I'm out of the bots, whatever reason. Usually the reasoning is because when I get numbers, when it's like 100% or whatever, it's a superstition probably for me. I usually just close it out and then start a new bot with the same pair. Because you can't, this is important, you can't add incrementally to a bot once it starts. You can't say, let me add another 1,000 to it. You just close it and then you set up a new bot because it takes like 2 minutes with the new amount of money that you want to put in there. And so I'll do that. Then obviously I'll go in there and I'll say, are there any new bots that I want to start on top of the bots that are already running? And if there is, then I do. Usually I rely on the service, Dan's service, that says these are the pairs. If they're within this range and you're on this exchange, boom, go crazy. And that's typically what I do. And that's how you would leverage. That's a way that you could leverage phase one. Now, Lynn is asking a very important question. Some other people have asked this, and I want to answer it again. I already answered it, but let me just answer it again. If you're in a position right now where all you have to your name is $1,000 to invest in this course and $50 to get the software to run the bots, should you join? And my answer to you is yes, if you would join if you had $10,000. So if you see the value in this training and you see the value in this opportunity, then you should join regardless of whether you can run a bot next week or not. Because by the way, you can run a bot. It's just going to be a demo bot. It's not going to be a real money bot. You should still join because then you will be ready to deploy and start running bots as soon as nature allows you to, as soon as you can. All right. Psychologically speaking, I will tell you, most of you have more capability than you think. And we've just seen this. We have over 10,000. Is it? No, it's not. How? I don't know. We have so many people on the plan, I can't even keep track. All I know is we're about ready to break 100 countries, and that's so exciting for me. This is the world currency, and you're getting in on it. That's what this is about, right? But the idea here is psychologically what we've seen is people last week who told us they didn't have any money. They see a bot, whether in demo or real mode, start wiggling out massive profit, and magically this week they somehow have money to start a bot. So a lot of the fear that you have, it's real in the sense of it scares you and holds you back. But it's false in the sense of it's not actually limiting you. It's only limiting you in your mind. And I say that with all the love and sincerity in the world because I've just seen it hundreds and hundreds of times. People tell me, I can't run a bot. Next week, they're running 2 bots. They set up a demo bot. They see all the profit and gosh darn it, they figure out a way to make it work. But on the outside looking in, you have every reason not to do it and no reason to do it. Once you get in, you will have every reason to do it and no reason not to do it. And we can't help you from the outside, and we do want to help you. I know that sounds cliche. I know that sounds trite even. I know you say, well, Jason, you guys make money every time somebody buys this course. You're damn right we do. How do you think I pay the 30 plus support people that we have out there, right? That's how we make this whole thing run. That's the oxygen that gives this thing life. But the reality is, we could just wiggle our own way to profit till the sun goes down day in and day out and be totally styling, totally fine. But that's not the purpose. That's not Dan's purpose. That's not my purpose. Our purpose here is to help others because we have both been where you might find yourself right now, and that's destitute. I was sitting here thinking, as Dan was talking about the 2 ways people traditionally make money, which is they either hodl or they try to day trade or swing trade, right? Swing traders and day traders lose because even if you get it right some of the time, it only takes getting it wrong once to really wipe you out. Hodlers lose because they can't discipline themselves. That's like the people that are like, you need to eat healthy all the time. Yeah, I get it, but it's really freaking hard. You see that cheesecake over there? I know I'm not supposed to eat it, but I'm probably going to eat it. Okay. So hodling is hard. But I was sitting here thinking my dad was a world-class hodler in the stock market, and we all paid the price for it. Because I literally remember on more than one occasion, my dad weighing investing money till he was 59 and a half years old versus taking us to the doctors. That was his priorities. So when you hodl, it's usually at the suffering of your life now. So if you're already suffering, hodling will traditionally bring on even more suffering. The hope is I suffer today or for the next couple of years. So one day, someday, it'll all make it up, make it worth it. Okay. If all you could do, and if you couldn't be in the plan, I would recommend you hodl. But man, it's hard to do. It takes insane amounts of discipline, and it makes your life worse before it makes it better. The thing about this is Dan will teach you hodling strategies with bots. I have a bot set up right now where every time the bot wiggles and makes me profit, I take the profit in Bitcoin. So every couple of hours, I'm adding to my Bitcoin nest egg. I'm not buying one Bitcoin now, or I'm not, whenever I feel like it, say I should buy some more Bitcoin. That is not a strategy, my friend. That's why you will probably lose. If your decision on when you buy Bitcoin is when you feel like it, or more importantly, this is when most people buy Bitcoin, when they hear something about it in the news, right? You are probably going to lose. I'm buying Bitcoin a little bit every single hour practically, whether it's going up or down, because I'm going to hodl that thing forever. And I'm super excited and super happy about it. Did you see the thing today? Litecoin, somebody somewhere created intentional misinformation and said, Walmart is now going to start taking Litecoin. Litecoin shoots up 20%, just like that, or whatever it did. I don't remember. And then Walmart was like, no, that's a lie. And then it drops like a rocket. And I'm laughing because I'm like, most people probably got screwed in that. So a few people made money and most people lost money because a few people intentionally relied on misinformation and misdirection in order to do that, manipulation, all that nonsense. It happens all the time. You can't stop that, right? But I'm laughing because I'm like, if we would have owned that in a bot, we would have made money going up and coming down. We wouldn't have cared. We wouldn't have even noticed. Investing based on the news, oh my God, that's not the strategy I'm going to recommend for you. It's the strategy most people follow. And this is how we make money in a superior fashion, by investing instead with a rule set and automation through the plan. So the plan, rocks.com/join. Okay. Now, after the first 2 months of the setting that you get, your access for the setting, first of all, the setting service where Dan gives you the coin pairs, that kicks in. The timer on that starts after you complete the course. You get access to that and you can use that. 2 months. After 2 months, you don't have to do anything. And then the service will just be off access to you. That's it. If you want to continue to invest in the service beyond the 2 months, which is completely optional and at your own decision, right? Then it is a monthly fee. I think it is it $300 a month, Dan?
Yes.
Yeah. We haven't even billed anybody for it yet because it's that new. So I can't even remember the price on it. You can choose to, if you wish to continue for that. There's a significant amount of effort that goes involved in that. And we don't want you to only rely on that. We want you to create your own bots, right? But nonetheless, there is that opportunity, but that's in the distance. You don't have to even think about that here today. Okay. Let me see. Let me look. There's a question that I just saw here. Steve says this one. So Dan, can you handle this one? He says, I'm keen to join, but currently running bots on the 3 Commas bot platform. So can I keep it there? Or how do I transition to your trading bot platform? So it's a similar question I asked you earlier, but it's slightly different. So let's go ahead and take a shot at it.
Okay, terrific. 3 Commas is a wonderful platform. I've used bots on almost every platform. I happen to also be a programmer and developer, so I understand the stuff even at a deeper level. But what I did in my journey is I tried every single one of the bots, including 3 Commas. And I settled in on the one that we offer here in the plan, which I think is better. What I teach is very specific to this software, and I would not recommend that you try to take what I give you in the plan and apply it, at 3 Commas or another service, because all of these bots don't work the same. Just because you call something a grid bot doesn't mean it's the same. It's like tennis shoes. Just because you call something a tennis shoe doesn't mean that all tennis shoes are the same. There are significant differences. There are even free bots that are offered at many of the exchanges, and then you start them up and all of a sudden you realize that you're longing and you're shorting and you're leveraging and you're doing just stuff that really takes a high level of skill to monitor and understand. So to answer your question is I would just let, if you have any bots running there, just let them run into a point where it makes sense to close. And then hopefully, take your assets, from there and try them here. I can almost assure you, you're going to do better because the level of support and the level of experience that I have at this really it far exceeds what you're probably getting there at 3Commas. And again, 3Commas is a fine software package. They offer many other things as well. And I have an account there. I use it for a few minor things here and there. So I am familiar with it. But you're going to be better off using the software that we recommend and following the plan.
Excellent. I'm going to ask a question to anybody who's still here, because we have a lot of people, at least in the chat. It says the number of attendees that are still here. I don't know if they just left the computer on and walked away or what. So help me out here. Check in with me right now. If you're here, I got a question for you. Go ahead and answer it for me. Are you in crypto right now in any way, shape, or form? Do you own any form of crypto? Oh my God. Most people say yes. Look at all this. Mostly yeses. And that's funny because there's a few no's. It's interesting. So somebody's in Cardano, right? So Cardano is the poster child. Dan had me buying Cardano many, many months ago, right? That paid the rent several times over. It's funny how these ones that break out, we're already in bots of them a long time ahead of them because Dan's rules bring them out. It's fascinating. XRP, Tony had me go into XRP just the other day on a phase 2 strategy, which is beyond the scope of this as well. Okay. What you're going to discover is crypto is the silent majority. So many people own crypto, yet nobody thinks anybody else owns crypto. So the NASDAQ did a study on this, and what they discovered was 17% of adults in the United States own crypto. And then what they also discovered is 32% of them were planning on buying crypto within the next 12 months. And so think about something where 50% of people have invested in it, yet it feels like it's nowhere. Because you don't see it. There's no bank on the corner. There's no Bitcoin bank on the corner. There's not. There's nothing that you're used to experiencing it. You're not spending crypto at the deli right now, and so people tend to think it doesn't exist. But you take something like Cardano, ADA, that's the coin. The reason why it's so big is it's disrupting the video game industry in a way you wouldn't believe, which is like $1 trillion industry. And then you're seeing these folks like Messier, one of the most iconic sports figures in the whole world, negotiating sports tokens in his contract when he goes on to whatever team that he went on. I'm not very intricate into the football world, but nonetheless, I am aware of sports tokens, and so sports tokens are completely disrupting the whole sporting industry. And so it's simultaneously everywhere while appearing to be nowhere. We call that opportunity. We call that massive opportunity. So here's the sad fact. Most of you who own crypto, unfortunately, you didn't buy it in the way that you should have probably bought it. And I'm not talking as an investment strategy. I'm literally saying that a lot of you don't even own crypto who think you own crypto. You essentially have borrowed crypto from like Robinhood or places like that because you don't own the keys to it. You're like, what does that mean? Well, it means you need to buy the plan because there's a very key distinction on people who own crypto and can actually use it in a way that makes sense, and other people who own crypto right now who still own essentially the same version of the old story where there's this red tape around it, there's these conditions around it, like that stuff. That's sad, but that's the way that it is. People are taking advantage of you because you don't know what's going on, and they do, and they're using one to get one over on you. Dan and I want to put an end to that because crypto is going to disrupt it. It's going to make all these banks look like kindergartners by the time this is all said and done, because they're playing the game with a significant disadvantage because they don't have the technology that can hold a candle to this. They just can't, and they never will. And so what we want to do is help you. If you're already owning crypto, I guarantee how you're owning it now will be massively enhanced with what you learn in the plan phase 1, period. You will feel bad at first before you feel good. So let me predict your future already. Because you'll say, man, I really did not know what I was doing. But here's why you should feel good. At least you got in if you're in. That's great. Now, if you didn't get in, I understand why. Because you didn't know what you were doing and you decided to sit out. So either you didn't know what you were doing and you got in. This is most people, not everybody, but most people. Or you didn't know what you're doing, so you sat out. In either case, the plan is going to be amazing for you. In either case, the plan is going to be absolutely fantastic. Even if you were to buy Bitcoin, say through Coinbase, there's a right way to do it. And then there's a way not necessarily to do it. Okay. And it's not that it's hard. You just need to know the decoder rings. We say red, not green, purple, not pink, blue, not yellow. That's the level of sophistication. You just got to have a guide point that stuff out to you. Okay. And yeah, is crypto volatile? You're damn right it is. Well, we turn that into a feature, not a bug. We're like, volatility is amazing if you're using bots, because whether it's going up, down, sideways, whether you're in a bull market, a bear market, or a kangaroo market, you know what a kangaroo market is? It's jumping up and down across the screen. All of those are advantageous for us. When the market goes down, we're like, fantastic. We're buying at a discount. When the market goes up, we say, fantastic. If we ever wish to close these bots, we can. And usually we start new bots when we close them. If the market stays, if it goes up and down constantly, like this whole Litecoin fiasco that happened today, that's the best of all, believe it or not. The best of all is when, Bitcoin goes from 40 to 60 to 50 to 40 to 60 to 60 to 70 to 70 to 50 to 50, and it does it in less than a month, schizophrenically. That is the best period of all. And I was telling a friend the other day, I'm like, this is like the stock market, because the stock market goes through crashes like any other market. Only instead of going through like 10 years, it goes through a crash or two. In 10 months, Bitcoin goes through like 6 crashes. And that's a good thing. I'll tell you why it's a good thing for 2 reasons. Reason number 1 is because the volatility is a feature, not a bug of what the plan does. But the second reason that's good is because we can speak on historics. We can tell you plan members have been through several crashes, several bear markets, several bull markets, and each time they thrived. That's what's really important, because a lot of so-called crypto experts, they're only experts when everybody's making money. That's the only time they're an expert. But when does that happen? It doesn't happen all the time. It only happens some of the time. So what's a plan that can work for you all of the time, regardless of whether Elon Musk decides to tweet something else out tomorrow that makes the market go crazy? Because he will eventually. If not tomorrow, then the day after, right? You got to have a plan for that. The plan for that. The bots are the perfect way to start it. And then that will, from that, unlock all the other opportunities to you if you wish to go even further, which you can or can't. It is up to you. Theplanrocks.com/join. Okay. The cart closes when that countdown timer hits 0. So you don't need to be concerned on when that is from a time zone perspective. Just know that when that thing hits 0, you're done. The offer is closed. You can test us on that. You will be proven that we are as good as our word. You will also be locked out, unfortunately. Okay. Any really reputable exchange that is both trustworthy and has reasonable fees. The only other thing you need to worry about is, does it interface with our software that we use for the robots, the crypto bots? And you'll find, yes, there are certain exchanges that only work if you live in certain parts of the world. And there are other exchanges that only work if you live in other parts of the world. That's the name of the game, okay? When there's so much opportunity out there, there's going to be too much opportunity for one person to take on. You can't feel bad that you have too much opportunity. Feel good with the opportunity you have. I promise, even if you live in freaking New York, you will be able to work the plan and see success with it, okay? It's slightly different for everybody, which is why we need 30 support people, which is why we need extra layers of support. In the members area, you'll see how much we've documented so many different crypto exchanges, because each one has a little bit of a different interface, and each one of them has a little bit of a different analysis around them. We have documented all of that for you. It is very robust. And then you just pick the ones that make sense for you, or the ones that you can have access to, and you will have more than enough opportunity. Okay. So a lot of you are like, well, I can only set up 1 or 2 or 3 bots right now. And the same number of you are saying, I want to be able to be on all these exchanges. Well, even if you were, you could still only set up 1 or 2 or 3 bots. You're going to have more than enough with whatever reputable exchange that's available in your country that interfaces with this software. You're going to have plenty. You're going to run out of bot opportunity quicker from your capital you have than you will from the actual different bots that fit within Dan's rule set for setting up and putting on the grid. theplanrocks.com/join. Okay. I'm not going to answer specifically for posterity reasons when exactly it closes in a time frame of days and hours and minutes, because people will watch this on the replay and get confused. Here's the way you find out when it closes. You go to theplanrocks.com/join. That doesn't mean you have to sign up, right? I know some of you are scared to go to that URL because you're afraid that I have some magic technology that will hypnotize you and then make you just sign up against your will. I do not have that. Okay. And there will be a countdown timer. It will follow you down the page. That I do have the technology to do. And you will see when that thing hits 0, it's gone. It's done. Even if you kept the page open after it hit 0, you still couldn't sign up for it because we've programmatically designed it. So it's complicated. I won't get into it, but you're done as soon as that thing hits 0. You can't sign up after that. There's a reason we do that, by the way. It's not because we're jerks. It's not because we're trying to scare you and pressure you into purchasing. We have to do that because we take everybody and put them through live training sessions together. So we can't have stragglers come in halfway through. It's just not how we're going to do it. Now, with that said, you will have more than enough time to help you make a decision. But if it's urgency that's required for you to make a decision, if you're one of those people who waits the last second before you pack for vacation, then we're going to put the pressure on you because you're going to have to make a decision. You can't put it off. You can't avoid it, just like you can't avoid crypto. You can't. It's going to be part of it. You might as well profit from it. That's the way that I look at it. Also, when you go to theplanrocks.com/join, you're going to have a link to support. We put support on every single page that we publish. We're that proud of it. And so if you need any question to direct our way, that's the place where you can go and you can get our support information off of there as well. But go ahead and check out the page. And then if you want to sign up right now, you can sign up right now. If you want to think about it some more, think about it some more. If you want to talk to some people first before you make a decision, please do. Okay. Here's the coolest thing I've seen about the plan, which I find very unique to this opportunity where I've never seen it happen in any other opportunity I've been a part of. If we take the hardcore, like super sophisticated folks and we show them the plan, they're like, cool, I'm in, right? We have a billionaire in the plan. No joke. Okay. What if we take people off the street that have no financial savvy and we show them this? They say, cool, I'm in. I've never seen it hit all ends of the spectrum. I've never seen anything like that before. Like, I'll give you a great example. Most of the people that Dan has brought on through the plan have came from the Amazon days because Dan was a master trainer in Amazon. And so a lot of the Amazon people in the Amazon world, if you're already a sophisticated e-commerce seller, all the beginner stuff, where quote unquote ways to get online and sell on Amazon is beneath you. It's not really, but that's how people look at it. They're like, I'm new, or I'm not new, I'm a pro, so it's not for me. And they check out. Or the other way, if it looks too advanced or too complicated, or there's too many success stories, then new people are like, oh, it's not for me because I'm brand new. So you never get both. You usually get one or the other. And this is the opportunity that transcends all those limitations. I've never seen anything like it. If anybody puts it under a lens or puts it through scrutiny, it gets better the more you scrutinize it, as it should. It just normally doesn't play that way for most other opportunities that exist out there. Okay. So certainly you are within your rights to take a look at this for as long as you wish to. But some people pretend they're doing that for research purposes. What they're really doing that for is because they're too scared to make a decision and they push it off. And so you got to true up with yourself in that case. I know there are a portion of you right now who know you should sign up and you're just dragging your feet. And I don't like that. Okay. I like you, but I'm not really cool with that. I want you to step up because you already know if it's in your heart and it makes sense, you just got to say yes. And you got to trust. You got to have a little bit of faith. Okay. What I find ironic is the faith you put into the existing financial systems that are already there. I call that Stockholm syndrome, okay? Your financial institutions right now have given you Stockholm syndrome. You know what Stockholm syndrome is? Is when somebody gets kidnapped and because all they've been around is their person that has kidnapped them, they start to empathize with them and they start to have a bond with them, right? That's what's happened in the financial system you currently have. You've been lulled by a false sense of security with the system you have because you know nothing different. And so that makes you feel safe, even though it's scary as hell. And this thing, which is a new thing, is a thing you want to avoid because your captors who have your money right now, you're thinking they're taking care of you. here's a little bit of harsh reality for you. Nobody's going to take care of you other than you. And what I like about this right here is it shows you how to take care of yourself. And what I like about crypto and DeFi, it doesn't care. Somebody said this earlier because he laughed. He says, are you kidding? There's a gender bias in crypto? Like, because crypto is biasless. You don't have to go to a loan officer to get a loan in DeFi, for example. You push a button, right? It truly transcends these things that have held us back as a species before. But nonetheless, there still exists that bias. And that's an old financial institutional bias that is not actually a reality in the crypto world. So the crypto world will take you as you are. You don't have to know some guy who went to an Ivy League school whose brother-in-law is a banker, and so therefore you get a special deal. That's how the world's always been. It doesn't have to be like that in crypto. You just got to have a plan, right? theplanrocks.com/join. Yeah, Mark, it was the same guy. Mark just said it right now. Wallet addresses don't ID race, sex, age, etc. Well said, Mark. Thank you for that, right? This truly is democratization in its true pure form. You know, in a lot of countries right now, land ownership, it's not a real concept. Some guy says, oh, yeah, you don't own that land anymore. We lost the record at the registrar. We're going to take your land. Now, in a first world country, you say that doesn't exist anymore. Well, maybe it does a little bit, but not a lot. It certainly kind of does in some ways, right? But in developing countries, that exists more than you would believe. And why is that? Because a centralized authority is deciding based on who he wants to on whims and on old record-keeping services where they shove dirty, crusty paper into filing cabinets. That's how they do it. That is anything but fair, all right? The blockchain technology, which is a decentralized ledger book that nobody can fungal up and change and erase and lose and all that kind of stuff, it doesn't care what color your skin is, what race or religion you are. It is truly democratized. That's why this is unstoppable, my friend. This is why this is undeniable. Even though people want to stop it, who already are the elites, it can't be. So my urgency to you is this. Wouldn't it be wonderful, A, to profit from this? Of course it would, right? But B, a lot of you don't understand why the profits come in. When we're investing in these coins, we're helping them capitalize so they can bring their technology to the mainstream sooner rather than later. So you make money to help bring in a change that actually makes the world more harmonious and better. And boy, does it need it right now. I think it needs it right now, don't you? And this is a way of doing that. This is how I finally reconciled all this, because Dan mentioned this earlier. I was walking around for 2 months feeling guilty about the money I was making in the bots, because I'm like, what am I really doing to earn my money? I have this, and it doesn't make it right. And in fact, in a lot of ways, I think it's a weakness for me. I have this feeling that I have to create some sort of immense value out there in order to be compensated. And I don't feel good if I get money for nothing. It's just a conditioned response that I've developed throughout the years. And so I was really struggling with this because it's the easiest money I ever made. And I was like, man, I'm making money and I'm not really doing anything. I'm not creating anything. And then it finally hit me. It's like, I am though, because I am helping bring these technologies in place. I am helping the same way you would when Apple started in the garage. Hey, I like that company. I think it's going to change the world. Here's some money. Let me help you get it out there. It's the same concept in that way. And I'm like, oh, that's what we're really doing here. Now, other people who are purely speculating it with no plan, they're still capitalizing it. They're just not getting a return on that capitalization. We're doing both. We're making money and we're help bringing in some of these many ways in which the future is going to be very different in a very good way than the present is. Right? Theplanrocks.com/join. I knew none of that until Dan turned me on to this. Before that, I just thought Bitcoin was the new version of the Dutch tulip, right? I just thought it was just some sort of joke that would eventually fade away. Just like all the people thought the internet was a fad, Yeah, like that, right? Theplanrocks.com/join. I got a couple questions as I went on my rant here that I'm going to throw back over to you, Dan. Okay, cool. I'm just reading through this. Okay. Yeah. Mark says this, bot hiring a worker who never sleeps to watch the markets 24/7. Thanks for bringing that up, by the way, Mark. I'll give one more example because it's hard to understand crypto because you really don't have much to compare it to. stock markets, or what we call the horse and buggy institutions, they actually close. Monday through Friday, they're open and they're closed. Does that make sense in the world we live in now? To have business hours. That made sense when it was Main Street. You walked down there and you knew the guy whose brother, was the coach of the little league team whose son you were on. That's not the world we live in anymore. So that's a great example of the difference. These markets run 24/7, 365, and they're worldwide. They're not just only in this stock market exchange or that one. So thank you for bringing that up. We will be sending you a replay. Let me address another concept of doing nothing. I kid you not. I went for a hike yesterday with a member of the plan, the one-on-one betas. So he was one of the people that Dan showed you. I don't know which one because we don't have any names or anything associated with this. And we were hiking. And as we were hiking, it was him and his wife and me. And we were talking about the plan and how we were doing and all this kind of stuff. And he said, I wish I would have done what you did, Jason, in what Dan recommends, which was do nothing. Because somebody Arden just mentioned that about the whole do nothing strategy. Because he did what my business partner Will did, because Will and I started our bots at the exact same time. And I made more money than Will. Why? Because Will's kind of a tinkerer. And he went in there and he was tinking. He was trying to time the market. That's what everybody ends up doing anyway, even though we tell you not. He's like, well, it looks good right now. Let me close it out. And then I'll set up another bot, or I'll set up the same bot again, right? I adjust things once a month. That's it. Once a month, period. So I do nothing 99% of the time. In fact, if you were to go through and audit our support desk, I bet you more often than not, the number one response when you would write in to say, hey, this happened, what should I do? The answer is nothing more often than not. And, and I laughed because I'm like, when this gentleman first started the plan, Dan did not emphasize do nothing. He didn't have a slide deck that said do nothing and had the quote from Malcolm Forbes in it, right? And so that's why I told him, I said, dude, this is why we emphasize now the do nothing concept. Because the more you try to actively work this, the less likely you are to make as much money with it. Now, he still made money. Will still made money. But the people that tend to make the most amount of money are the people that do the least amount of work. You set up a bot and you run it. Now, I'm like Dan. I like rules. I have a rule. Once a month, I tweak it. That's it. Once a month. That's my rule, period. And that's it. That's all you have to really focus on doing. Now, of course, there's going to be exceptions to that occasionally. If something really weird happens, like I found an exchange I like better than the exchange I had bots on. So I had to close all my bots and then, I set them up in the new exchange. That's all. So in that case, I had to do something. You might find something out like that. Because sometimes there's certain exchanges that pop up that become more advantageous, or you learn new things, right? So in that instance, it makes sense. Having occasionally there will be opportunities that are so obvious that you're going to feel like, it would be criminal not to take advantage of them. So then you do a little something. But barring those very rare instances, the majority of the time you do nothing. Because here's the thing about these bots. The longer they run, the more money they typically make. I'll give you one more example here, right? I went through one time, all the examples Dan showed you today, some of them had 15 bots, some had 5 bots, some had 7 bots, some had 9 bots, right? I recorded this too, just so I could have it. So if anybody asked me about it, I could show the actual specific data if it came to that. I'm not going to show you if you ask me, but I'm just letting you know I've recorded this. And I went through and I counted every single active bot pair that existed. 80+% of them were profitable, regardless of whether the coin went up or down, because the bots had wiggled out far more profit than whatever the thing did. 80%. It was either 82.4 or 84.2%. I can't remember specifically, right? Now, the thing is most of the bots that were not profitable yet were because they had been running for less than 4 days. I could have thrown those samples out, and then the number would have been preposterous, okay? And so the longer these bots run, the more they wiggle, the more profit the bots make. Therefore, the more profitable it can be. So usually the best strategy is nothing, right? All right, time to wrap it up. Dan needs to eat here. We've been going for quite a while, so I'm going to send this one home. Theplanrocks.com/join. We will get a replay out to you as soon as we possibly can. It usually takes about 24 hours because, compressing something like this that's 3 hours long is kind of it takes a little bit, but we'll send it out to you. Look for that as an email tomorrow. Mark had a question I'm going to answer real quick. We can take profits over time without closing the bots. What you do is your bot wiggles out profits and takes it out of the active trading grid. So I have a bot right now that's made $2,300 in profit. That means it's not being traded. That means it's in my exchange, which is the equivalent of a bank account. I do whatever I want with that money. I can put it back in and set up a new bot if I wish to. Or I could, buy a $2,300 bottle of wine if I wanted to. So I like the fact that it doesn't automatically drip in your bot profit right back into the market. Because I know a lot of you would never take money out and spend it. I want you to take the first money you make with your bots and do something nice for yourself. Or do something nice for your husband or your wife or your friend. I want you to enjoy your win. Because a lot of people that do this stuff, they don't do that. It's still numbers on a screen and their life stays the same. You need something right now. I will tell you, those last 18 months, 19 months, overall, they've been miserable. And it's okay to admit that. We don't have to walk around closing our eyes, say we're all right, it's going to be okay, right? It's going to be hard. It is hard. We don't know if it's going to get better anytime soon, right? You need to do something to make it better. So I'm telling you, I want you to, and you don't have to listen to me. This is certainly not, you do whatever you want with your money. I'm telling you, though, I want you to do something nice for yourself because you definitely deserve it. And now is the most important time to treat yourself nice when it's this hard out. You got to take care of yourself. So that's what I would recommend. And the bots, they pull that money out of the market. So it's not speculative anymore. It's realized money and do whatever you want with it. Do something nice for yourself. Okay. Does that sound good to you? theplanrocks.com/join. Want you to get there. I want you to sign up. Okay. But I get this question a lot, Bonnie. It's a great question. See, I'm trying to leave, but you keep asking me more questions and I can't resist them. She says, is this going to become a company in which we can buy shares? I have never gotten that question before, Bonnie, until we started doing the plan. We've had so many people wanting to invest in the company itself because they want to be part of this revolution. They see what we're doing here and they want to get involved. We have no plans on doing that yet. Now, tell God your plans and watch him laugh, that sort of thing. I can't predict the future. And so the reality is I don't know. But right now, the best way that we want to serve and help you is to empower you to do exactly what we're doing with these bots. And if you got to start with a little bit of money, you start with a little bit of money. Better to start with a little bit than not start at all. That's it. And then a little bit can become a lot really quickly. For most of us, remember, Dan has done over $3 million now in crypto on what started with an $8,000 principal. And about 4 years, 3 to 5 years, somewhere around there, right? Yeah, we will not give you tips on that, Arden. So let me read Arden's thing out to everybody. It says, to Jason, I'm a digital artist. I want to sell through crypto like on Super Rare. Can you give me some tips if I join the plan? The answer to that is no. It is hard for us to understand why people sell digital art through NFTs and why some like Beeple make $65 million or whatever he makes and others don't make anything. How these 12 and 10-year-old kids are making a fortune. We don't know. We just know these NFT marketplaces. They seem to, for us at least, this is not financial advice, but for us at least, they seem to check the boxes of the rule set that Dan has, which is a very small rule set, on what should go into a bot. And so we would rather invest in the companies that are creating the new world of NFTs than try to make this some sort of way to catch that trend, because it might work, it might not work. For every person it works for, there's probably 100 people it doesn't work for. You should try it if it calls out to you, but it's certainly not something that we do in the plan in any phase. We set bots up and there's no guesswork to it. It's not a risky thing. It's not a big risk, but big reward kind of a deal. It's like a almost no risk, huge reward type of a deal. But yeah, the world is going to disrupt itself. Okay. It is. Think about the art world. And then I got to go here unless somebody asks me another really good question, but think about the art world. For many, many centuries, it's been controlled by an elite few who determine what should or shouldn't be fine art. And because they own all the art galleries and because they own all the media associated with it, they can largely determine an artist's future. Very talented, very amazing artists have died in obscurity and in poverty, including Van Gogh, right? Simply because of an elite few decide what it is and isn't art. That's gone. That's going to be gone very soon because it's been democratized. Through what? Through the blockchain, which is the same technology that is disrupting finances with Bitcoin, with stable coins, with everything that's coming on. Coins and tokens, we didn't really distinguish between the difference in those, but this whole new world is available. It's going to come whether you like it or not. It's good to be prepared for it. It's better to profit from it. So if that sounds good to you, theplanrocks.com/join. I want to get you in there. Oh, here's another good one. Bonnie, you're coming through again. I like it. I'm a newbie and very nervous about all this. Yeah, it is. It's scary. I have very little money that I can afford to lose. I want to shift my thinking. Well, that last thing you said is right on the money right there, Bonnie. Let's be very clear with each other. You should be nervous because this is a whole new world. And what we don't understand is scary. And if you have very little money, it's even more pressure for you because, boy, you don't have much wiggle room. You got to get it right. So there's a lot more for you to lose if you get it wrong. That is absolutely the case. But that alone should not dictate the decisions that we make. We should give that consideration, but we shouldn't let us control that. We shouldn't let that control our decisions. Otherwise, we're going to always make decisions from a point of fear and from a point of limitation. And that's not going to serve anybody, most of all you, right? So shifting the thinking, which we've attempted to do now, going on 3 hours for you, Bonnie, and I think we're making some headway, aren't we? That's the whole concept here is it's very urgent that we take a look at this thing for what it is. Now, I'll give you a very simple way of looking at this from a different perspective. One brutally hardcore way of looking at investing, it's not the only way to do it. It's oversimplistic in a lot of ways, but it's an interesting way to look at it. The way you make money as an investor is at the expense of somebody else losing money. That's not exactly true, but it's true enough. It's a zero-sum game. I make a trade. Somebody bought it for me at a higher price than they should have, than I sold it for, so I make money, right? So in a case where somebody wins and somebody else loses, who typically wins? Well, I will tell you, there are two types of winners. There are those that have an advantage through insider information or some sort of connection. So like, senators who can trade with inside information, they have advantage over us normal folks, politicians, that kind of thing, right? Other people who know and have connections or who help write policy, they have advantages. That's why I'm not a huge fan of investing in most markets, because they're so easily manipulated by the powers that be, of which I'm not one of them. The other people then that make money in these markets are those that have an edge, as I like to call it. They have some sort of advantage. They have some sort of superior understanding or some sort of thing that they can do and take advantage of with superior knowledge where their investment should go. That's very hard to do in most markets because even if you have an advantage in knowledge, you're still playing a rigged game against you. So not only does that not exist in crypto world in terms of the rigging, because it can't be centralized like these other entities have, and there hasn't been hundreds of years for people to figure out how to capture it and try to control it. I don't think it is controllable either. It's like bottling lightning. But more importantly is what's the strategy? I will tell you this. Everybody I talk to who owns crypto, their strategy is essentially I buy it based on what the news cycles say, and I sell it based on what the news cycles say. That's 99+% of investors in my very informal research. So if you have any advantage over those types of investors, oh my God. If a bunch of people are losing and a few people are winning, that means those people are winning a big chunk of money. And so from one very specific aspect, it doesn't matter if you're new. It doesn't matter if you're old. It doesn't matter if you're heavily capitalized. It doesn't matter if you have a few pennies to your name. If you have an advantage, if you're 1 inch taller than everybody else, you see further than anybody else. You stand out more than anybody else. So from that perspective alone, and that's a very brutal, very uncompassionate way of analyzing it and looking at it. But that's one of the things that immediately leapt out to me with what Dan had. It's like people are trying to time the market, or they're trying to buy these meme coins or these influencer altcoins, right? Or they're just buying and holding. They don't have a strategy. They don't have an advantage. Now, there's other people who think they have a strategy because they think complexity equals strategy. They think if I look at enough charts and I have 6 monitors up and I do more, then I'm going to get more. No, those people also lose because they overcomplicate it. They're the ones painting a mustache on the Mona Lisa thinking it's going to improve its value. What you want is both something that is utterly simplistic, but that has an advantage over everybody else. The fact is, if you take your average financial investor who studied money their whole life and you talk to them about crypto, you will already know more than what a majority of them do. That's a fact. They don't understand that you can build a bot in a few minutes that can trade on the market going up and down without doing the shorting or long or any of this on margin, all this stuff. I don't even understand it or know it, right? They just say that can't be. They're not going to get it. You have an advantage. You have a knowledge. And again, now let's slide in that other part. This is the future, whether you like it or not. So you could dig your heels in and fight it and not make money from it. You can make money from it and help fix some of these issues. Did you know a majority of people in the world do not have a bank account? There's 2 reasons for that. Reason number 1 is the banks say it's not financially in our interest to allow you to have a bank account. But reason number 2 is people would rather put their money under a mattress than trust a bank. In a lot of countries, that makes a lot of sense. That's actually a smarter move. That's a whole market. There's 22% of people in the United States that are what we call unbanked or underbanked. That's a huge market. Don't you want to be involved in helping that market get service and support in a way that's going to empower them? I do. And furthermore, there's an existing amount of people in the banking world who would easily move into a better solution if one was provided to them. Because they're looking at a Chase Morgan who paid over $30 billion in penalties and fees in the last 10 years. And they're saying, well, it's the devil, I know. I got to keep my money here because I have no other option. All of that stuff is going to be completely disrupted. My favorite thing is when publicly people like JP Morgan, Chase, they say Bitcoin's a fad. And then privately, they're studying it, and their analysts are making predictions that Bitcoin will go up to $144,000 in the next year. It's like, very quietly over here, they're taking advantage of it while screaming with a megaphone over there to try to get you out of it because they don't want you to know. Because if you knew, you'd be like, what do I need you for? And that's happening. So any way you look at it, it's sound and it makes sense. And then how do we do this without risk or as little risk as possible? Because crossing the street is a risk, right? Biting into something is a risk. You could chip your tooth. So that's the final analysis. How do we do that? And I think that's what we have here. theplanrocks.com/join. If you say, Jason, you seem pretty passionate about this. That is about the most sanest thing that you could say. I am passionate. I know I need to wrap this up. I know we need to go. I know most of you have already checked out. You've either bought or you're thinking about it or you just tuned out, right? I believe so much in this. Hopefully that sincerity shines through. All right. And hopefully that something happens here that if you were on the fence, you knocked yourself off the fence one way or another. Okay. Awesome. With that said, I know Dan had to step out and take a break. I'll sign off for all of us here at The Plan. We welcome you in theplanrocks.com/join. I'm so appreciative to be of service to you. Hopefully, regardless of what happened, you see more of the world in the future and the possibilities today than you did before we joined this training. If you're in, I'm so excited. If you have to think it over, that's totally cool. If you need anything from us, support@rapidcrush.com. I'm going to say that 2 more times. Support@rapidcrush.com. And now here's this last time, support@rapidcrush.com. Anything and anything. If you want to say hi to us at support, write in and say hi. We love it when people write to us at support. Most people hate it. We love it. We respond back quickly. Our satisfaction rating is through the roof. And we want to help you because if you don't talk to us, we can't help you. If you don't interact with us, it's up to chance. And I don't want to leave it up to chance. So check it out, theplanrocks.com/join. And I'll see you shortly. Bye for now.